Hey, what's going on? Welcome to this video. My name is Kyle. I've been building AI agents for a while now, and I wanted to create this whole tutorial that you're seeing right now simply because I've been seeing what everyone else has been doing, and I want to do the complete opposite. I want to show you guys how you can build sellable AI agents using n8n, but not just telling you, but actually walking you through a whole process and showing you, literally putting you on my back or you watching over my shoulder of me building AI agents that I've built and sold to other people to also show you guys how you can learn on how to build AI agents from scratch and then turn them into something that you can sell. What we're going to do is we're going to start off very simple throughout the video, and then we're going to go through and go with more complex AI agents that I built over the time of AI agents, emerging from the space as well. So what we'll do, we'll just go ahead and jump straight in. Below the video, I have timestamps for everything just in case you want to skip through certain videos, certain sections of what I put into this tutorial, as well as if you want more one-on-one help so I can help you sell and build these AI agents to other people, you can go ahead and book a call below too as well. But until that, let's go ahead and jump into this. It's going to be a fun one. All right, cool. So let's just dive straight into it. So we're going to go through pretty much how we can go through, set it up the right way, make sure you guys get it set up the right way as we go through this journey we have here. So what we're looking at here is we just have this simple, n8n page. It'll have a lightning bolt on it, looking like Shazam a little bit. But going through, as you can see, it just gives you a brief walkthrough of everything, like IT ops, sales ops, pretty much like everything you can do with it, and giving you some like examples of what could be done. Also, as well, I know somewhere down here you will be able to, they have their case studies and everything. But as you scroll down, there'll be a lot of other things down here. It'll have some case studies. And also, there is an area where you can go find like the use cases and find actual other forms that it's used before. But going back into it, so what we can do is just you tap over here with get started, and then you go through and you create your account. I'll go ahead and just create a dummy account here, for example. Cool. And then what that looks like is with the account name, you just, it runs on its own cloud. So just put your name here and then you can start just an easy 14-day free trial, which makes a lot of sense for everyone. You'll just go through, they'll just ask you a couple questions. This doesn't really matter all too much. And you'll just run through these questions. Then you'll start running through and setting up your workspace. So it's super simple. The process is super simple to go ahead and set up your free account. But once you have that set up, it'll just take you through here. You could watch this video. It'll explain a couple of things, but I'm going to just show you everything that you need to know in this video so far. So there's no need to go off and watch this video. After the loading screen goes through, you can go ahead and get access into it so you can start automating. And boom, now you're in. I want you guys to just get used to what you're looking at, because of course, whenever you're trying something new, it's going to be a bit confusing. It'll be a little bit overwhelming, but once you know your way around the land, you'll be cool, bro. It'll be cool. So here we have a couple of different things. Like this will just tell you, these are just stats. This is not going to say anything because, of course, you have a new account. But over here is where you can set up and create a workflow. Of course, over here is where you can add different projects in here. You have different templates. And in the templates here, the cool thing about this is there's a couple of people that put templates here that you can go ahead and just copy. There might be something that you're looking for, but at the end of the day, these are good to use to see kind of how everyone else is doing it, see what everyone else is doing it. But what I'm going to show you here is a super unique way for you to be able to create your own that actually sell and are worth buying, right? Because some of these are great, but of course, it's not really needed. This is where everyone goes off and they nerd out, and you can go ahead and use these for free as well. It's a cool thing to check out if you have some free time to go look around and see what else is going on. So definitely a play to look at for sure. But going back into it, you have the templates, you have the variables, the insights, even help. But the main thing that we want to do is, we can start a project. We can go over here and start from scratch. And then once you go in and you start from scratch, It'll go ahead and load for a second, and then you'll have access to this screen. It's a digital whiteboard or digital blackboard, whatever you want to call it. And the screen kind of looks the same, right? You have the same button right here. Well, it'll focus up and zoom onto your particular work or your flow that you're using right now, as well as, of course, plus minus, where you can zoom in and create, even if you're creating giant workflows, you just want to be able to move around and manage it that way. So it's a pretty cool, whiteboard or a blackboard that allows you to zoom and interact and move around. As you can see over here, this is going to honestly be your best friend right here. This is an assistant, and what this assistant is, it's like a AI that's trained on n8n that you can use, but of course we'll get more into it, and then I'll start showing you guys what else you can use. But this is essentially what you'll be using, and what you'll be doing 90% of the work is in here, just because this is like your AI agent canvas. This is the canvas of n8n, and this is how you're going to be able to do it. And a lot of what we have here is, when you set something up with its first step, it always has to be a trigger. From what I've seen, it's a trigger on app event, on schedule, on chat message. It's a lot of different things. So when you're doing trigger manually, for example, what this essentially means is it's not automated if you do it like this. Like, trigger manually just means that you have to manually come in and test the workflow like so for it to go off. So it's not going to go off if something happens. It's not going to go off at a scheduled time. It's only going to go off if you press it. So this is cool, if it's something you want to test. It's good for testing a lot of workflows, and I'll show you later on in the video, you'll see. But it's not really the optimal workflow that we're going to use, because it just doesn't make the most sense. Like with me using words like optimal, nah, that's not my vocabulary at all. We don't need this shit, is what I'm trying to say. So it's not essential, but it's good to just test things out. Also, another thing is, because of course, remember, what we're doing right here is the first step. It's always going to prompt you with things like this. Like over here, when you're moving over here on the whiteboard, you have this, but you also have this, and what's going to prompt up is just a lot of triggers. So the next one is on app event, and this can be anything from you sending a message in Telegram or anything like that, where you have a bunch of different apps. So with n8n as well, you're going to have it has a ton of apps integrated into it, built in already. So you only have to end up just going in and connecting them. So you have ActiveCampaign for any of you guys that you know it, but more simpler ones like Zoom, everybody knows what YouTube is. You have certain ones like that set up to where it's get a channel, get as many channels, and it has it built in the node. So it's a playlist item, or delete a playlist item, get a playlist item, delete a video, get a video. So it has a bunch of different things, with whatever you're trying to create for yourself or in your business or for clients. It's super dope. But another trigger is that can be used is on schedule. So let's say you have something that, I don't know, you want to get an update on the news. We'll just keep it super simple. You want to get an update on the news with the schedule trigger. Whatever that looks like is, you can go over here. It can trigger every day, or you can do trigger every 24 hours from a certain time. Days between trigger one day, trigger at hour, and then you could run it up over here to where, let's say you want to know what's going on at 8 a.m., for example. 8 a.m., this is already going to be plugged into your time zone, so you don't got to worry about it. And then what happens is, every day at 8 a.m., it will set off the trigger. And that's where we're getting more into automation. So if you want it to be able to go off, set off a trigger, and then you connect other things to the end of it to where, let's say, it sends something to your email, sends something to your YouTube channel. It sends even a text message to you, and it's an update of a news article. You could set that up, and that is another way you start a workflow. Remember, when you're starting the workflow, it's like the brain. It's like the brain, or it's just the start button. It's the ignition in your car. So it's super important to make sure you have a proper start button, because you would see are you starting to see the big difference now? Because if you're trying to send the news, and you have this that's scheduled at 8 a.m., But then you have another one that to get the news, you have to go into n8n and then press test workflow. It defeats the purpose. It doesn't even make any sense to do that. Like, it just defeats the whole purpose. So there's no point. So now you're starting to see, I want you guys to really like grasp these concepts so you can be like, oh, okay, like this is cooked if I do it like this isn't going to work. It's not going to end well. Or I could do it like this, which makes way more sense. And then now you're starting to think. Now you're starting to think like a real, like you're starting to be able to really put two and two together and be like, okay, these are the do's, these are the don'ts, and I know what to do now. So that's what we have with just testing the workflow. Another thing to start the trigger off is you have on app event, on schedule, on a webhook call. So what this is a little bit more advanced. I'm not gonna lie. I use these sometimes, but rarely not. And I'm gonna tell you why. The reason why is because there's already so many things that are like integrated that I don't have to use webhooks too much. I can, but I kind of leave that for like the AI nerds. I like to build what works. I don't like to get more complicated, but essentially what a webhook is, it's a webhook. It's a chain that if data gets sent to the specific link over here, it will trigger, and then it'll start to give you data, and then you can pass it through the workflow. That's another way to do things, but like I said, I rather do on app event because that's usually what I'm doing for a lot of my clients and for me, or I do on schedule. Another good one is on chat message, but this one I put it a little bit like if I'm doing a tier list, low key, I'm putting this one in between the workflow where you actually have to test it and the other workflows that I just showed previously. Because with this one, to get it to trigger, it's not automated. You have to go through and actually start it. So you'd have to go through and start it with the prompt or just text it, tell it what you want, and then it'll pass through the whole thing. So this is another one that you have to play around with manually. So now after that, other ones we have as well is, I'll show you guys. When you go over here, another one that you can play around a lot with too as well is executed by another workflow. So what this means is, and the reason why it's showing up an error is because if you want to like tie different like agents together and workflows together, when you N1, what you can do is you can N1 that starts another one. So like you can have one set up to where it only starts to run if you have something connected to it. You know what I mean? So like you essentially will have a workflow end that triggers another workflow. And there's a lot of different ways you can do this. Like for example, you could have it set up to where you have a workflow end and then another workflow starts where it's like an onboarding process. So like if you have a marketing flow and then it's like marketing people, and then what happens is if someone buys something from you, you can end the workflow of them buying it, and then you can start another workflow, which is what you would be looking at here, to then being able to go through a process to be able to start like an onboarding process by like sending them onboarding emails and things of that nature. So that is another one that you can use, and that's basically a lot of the ones that you want to be able to be using. Like of course, like there's other ways and other things to do, but these are the main ones you want to really look at when of course you're coming in and you're getting started, just looking around and making sure you know what you're doing, what this first looks like. And basically this too as well, like when you're coming in here and you're doing, for example, like let's say we'll just do trigger manually. The next thing we can do is, of course, when you hit this, now it's going to look a little bit different. It's not showing up what it used to show up, because n8n tries to help you out a little bit too as well. Like you'll see right here that it'll start off with all the triggers, but once you have your trigger already set in place, now it's starting to go over here with AI, action and app, data transformation flow, core, human in the loop, add another trigger. And just to go through everything to make sure you guys know what's going on here. So when clicking test, what we have over here, what this means is this is the bread and butter. This is the AI agents that we have over here. And to go over it, what we have is, you have the OpenAI, and then you can have this set up where you create an assistant. That's cool. We have that one. I don't use that one as much, but it's still more than useful. You have a basic LLM chain, and this is just like a language model. This is cool as well, but it runs off like when there's a chat received. It's all right as well. I don't use this one as much, but I still want you guys to be able to understand and know which one it is. Information extractor. This one right here is good for taking data, yeah. And then, but with the information extractor, like it's good for data. I can just say that. Like if you're doing anything and you wanted to like remember the data and have things set up like that, like if you're doing something very like niche specific, I would use it. And then we have question and answer chain. Haven't used this one too much. There's not really a lot of n8n AI agents that I'm selling or using in my business that require that. Summarization chain. This one is okay. It does what the name says. It does summarize everything and spits out the data for you. So it's a substitute if you want to be able to go through and have something to summarize everything for you. But the bread and butter that you're actually going to want to use is you're going to want to use the actual AI agent because, and let me show you why. The reason why is because inside of here, you can have it set up to define below, and then in define below, you can prompt it. And then you can also plug in all the data here. And let me show you, because when you do it like this, you won't be able to plug in any data. So let me find another, here, 1 second. I can do on chat message, and then I'll give it some data real quick, like I'll put something in the chat message. So for example, just for a test, when stuff like this goes through, it'll go ahead and spit out data over here, right? And we're just using this for a test. I'm just showing you guys, we'll go in more in depth. We're just showing you the first couple of steps that you guys want to go through, so you make sure you're grasping and understanding everything. Now, what you need always with an AI agent, you have memory, tool, and chat model here. Chat models you can use, you got Claude, you got OpenAI, you have a bunch of different chat models you can use. Use whichever one you're familiar with. For example, I'll use Claude, and what happens with that is you will have it over here, and Claude will have it right there, and then you'll have it set and it'll connect. Eventually this error code will go away, credential, and then we'll be good to go. And now once we have that, a lot of things with the AI agents in here are prompting. So it's pretty much having anything set up like, you are a support agent, please respond right? You just have that set up. It'll take the error out. Another thing as well, what we have here is memory. You can have simple memory hooked up in here when everything's required, and you can have it set up to where it's like in define below, or you can have it connected to the last trigger so it can actually memorize and start to learn and become smarter. Just like any other employee. Any other employee, they come through, they get the job on the first day. They're not going to know what they know on the 30th day. Same thing. This AI agent is going to continue to grow and move smarter. Now, tool, what you have for tools, you have for different things. Of course, you have an MCP server. This is new. It's like more advanced. You have, workflow tools. I haven't used any tools, honestly. At most, I'll do is a chat model with the memory, and that's about it. So those are the AI agents like you have broken down over here. Let me just disconnect this, zoom out a little bit, and then show you what else we have. 1 second. Let me just drag this over here. Another thing as well is, of course, we have the AI agents as we already went through, but more so things on here is we have action and app. Like I said, a lot of these are a bunch of different, websites, apps, softwares that you can connect up into it. So, for example, like Gmail. You can have something like this. If you text the chat and you're like, send an email, you can literally, these are all the options you can do with Gmail. You can do send a message, but it's send an email. Easily connect your Gmail account. Send to, if you want to, like I was saying before, like if you want to go ahead and send off an email to yourself as a reminder, you can do that. You plug it into here, plug in your own subject line, and then data will be here. If you run it, you'll be able to drag and drop the data in here and send yourself a message. So there's a bunch of different apps, softwares, a bunch of different things that you're familiar with that you can use, or when you're selling it to other businesses, they can use as well because you can just plug it in. And what these are simply called, these are simple nodes. That's what they call these square looking things. They call them nodes that you can go through and run through a lot of them. Of course, you have a lot of things like branch, and what this looks like is like simple filters where you can filter through information. This is a little bit of the more advanced stuff, but you can filter through information. You can do things like if. So it's like if this is equal to a positive comment, move it on. If it's not, move it off. So it's like true or false. So like if this is a positive comment, like I was saying, it'll go towards a workflow that's up here. If it's false, it'll go to a workflow that's down there. And this is ways you can like segment things and really teach it and train it to be able to do whatever you want to do. That's what flows are about. Of course, you have over here loop and loop over items. So it's like splitting the batch. And this is what happens. Like if you're dealing with multiple different forms of data and you want to do a one-on-one to make sure that it's not confusing itself, you could do loop over items. So it'll come through. Let's say it's like 99 different types of leads coming in through it. It'll loop it over one by one so it doesn't force everything through and it's going to miss a lot of data. So there's pretty much everything in here will cover all of the ground that you need it to cover. As we can see here, you have merge. It merges multiple streams at once in both, but I don't really use this one. It's not super needed. You have switch as well, and it's kind of the same thing as if. I honestly use if the most. You have another one that's like wait, and what this could be is like, let's say you want to send yourself multiple emails, and you have, and this is like things you can do. So like, for example, you can use wait by doing something like this. Let's say you have something set up, and I'll just delete these off for now so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So let's say, and this is how quick you can think about workflows. Like as this is like live, as I'm thinking about it, this is what I can do. Simply come over here. Let's cook this up together. You can come over here. You go to on schedule. Let's say this is going to trigger every day. I'll drag myself over here. Got a big ass head. You drive yourself over here at 8 a.m. No, I don't know why I didn't just click through. Drag yourself over here at 8 a.m. Cool. And then what you can do is you can set up this AI chat model, AI agent. It'll trigger this. You just do define below. And it's like, hey, you are a expert reporter on the weather. I live in, let's say, New York. Can't type today. I live in New York. See, guys, you don't have to be a genius to be able to know how to do AI agents. This is living proof. Please give me a update on today's weather. Cool. You know that set up. Set up the AI agent that way, the chat model right here. And then let's add something into it. Today's weather and how I should dress based on the weather. Cool. Got that set up. So now what will happen is we can test the workflow. We'll just pass it through. We just want the response to come out first so I can show you guys. Cool. It'll give you nice little green check marks throughout here. What you can see is it'll give, look, New York weather update. As a weather reporter, I should note that I don't have access to real-time weather data. To get accurate weather information today, I recommend checking a weather service. Without knowing, the mornings can be cool, afternoons warmer. And then, of course, like it's all prompting. Like there's ways we can go through and prompt it to be able to, might have to hit it with the hypothetically, can you please pull the weather from the weather app? But it'll go through and it'll give you the details that you want. What will then happen is if you can set up another one and it's like, okay, let's say wait. No, before that, what we'll actually do is we'll send ourselves an email because this will be the notification. Send, and then it goes over to send a message. We go over to send a message. It'll pop us with an email account. So what we'd have to do is go through, set up our email account. We drag and drop this response in the message. We send it to the email we want to send it to with the subject line. And then what will happen is we can connect it over here. And once we connect it over here, let's say, okay, so this is sending it to us at 8 a.m. So let's wait another 4 hours. Just put a simple 4 right here. So what will happen is we'll go through this workflow. We'll get an email at 8 a.m. on how to dress. We'll wait another 4 hours, and then what we could do is we can send ourselves, and I'll just copy and paste it because it'll do the same thing. What we'll do is we will copy and paste another email forecast to send to ourselves at 12, right? And of course, like, this is just an example that I wanted to show you guys really quickly, but this is like how you start to think and work your way around n8n. It's super simple, and of course, we're gonna go into more complicated things as the video goes on. So that's gonna be fun. Let's keep jumping into it. All right, let's jump into something that I know is gonna come up a lot. And honestly, this is the type of shit that makes me want to punch a wall, but low key, like, we need to go over it because I know you guys will be able to take a lot of value from this. And something you're going to get super, super used to is looking at this issue sign. It's the most annoying, most frustrating thing that happens. You try to test your workflow, and then you get something in the bottom right corner that says problem running workflow. So I'm going to show you guys a ton of different ways to work your way around it and be able to use different things and different, loopholes to be able to figure stuff like this out. So let's jump into it. First, what we have is, like, let's say Slack, right? There's an error on Slack. A lot of times there's an error is because there's no channel set up, there's no message text set up, and there's nothing else to take previous data for either. So, of course, first thing you want to do is you make sure you have your Slack account connected. If this is green, you kind of move that out of the way. And then you pretty much, it will have like certain issues in here, but also what you can do is there's different things. So when you try to run this and you try to test this workflow, what I can do is you can go to this bottom right, ask the assistant. Sometimes you can copy this and then paste it in here and be like, this error, what's the problem? And then wait, and sometimes it'll say something like that, but we'll just make sure that we're copying the correct thing, because it looks like we copied we keep copying the file that we don't actually want. Look, 1 second, we'll test this again, and then we'll retry it. Let's make sure we have the right thing copying. Okay, we'll do this. Let's just try doing this, because it keeps copying the actual workflow. It's not copying the right thing. I keep getting an error. Oh, what's the problem? And then this one will work. We'll go ahead and let it process some things. It looks like your message is missing the error details. Could you please provide the exact error message or a screenshot of the error? Oh, okay, cool. Let's try giving them a screenshot, because we tried to give them the, I don't think we can send them a screenshot. What we'll just do is, it looks like, a lot of times, guys, I don't know why it's not letting me do it right now, but a lot of times you'll be able to copy this. If not, just type out the message. But it pretty much told you, it's like it's missing error details. So we can come in here, and what we can do, let's just say user, and then I'll go ahead and send this to myself, and then I'll just say hi, for example. Now let's test it. Cool, node executed successfully. But now what will happen is we'll go over here and problem in node agent. A chat model subnode must be connected and enabled. So it will tell you what's going on down here, but if you guys are super confused, let's see if this will copy and paste in. Just be like, you can just say, I got another error message. In the AI agent node, what's wrong? sometimes you just have to press retry on it and it'll go ahead and feed you the information, or just let it look. Okay, it looks like your message didn't include the message or any details about the issue, the AI agent node. Okay, and you can just be more specific. It says a chat node must be connected. And then let's just type on, let's see what it says. Cool. And then what it'll do is it'll give you the instructions. And this is why this is so important, because when you guys are doing a lot of this stuff by yourself, you can go ahead and you troubleshoot it on your own. And I want to just teach you guys so you guys can know the right places to go to be able to do this. So how to fix this: add a chat node, connect the chat node, enable the chat node, save your run in your workflow. Super simple. Chat model. This is what they mean by chat node. I know sometimes as a beginner it might be confusing because you're like, what exactly is a chat node? And I remember me at the time, I was like looking through and I was trying to figure out which one. I'm like, chat model, that can't be it. Where's the chat node at? But all it's pretty much saying is to come here, connect one of these, right? Let me zoom out, connect one of these, make sure it's connected. We'll see. This right here, the error will go away. And then let's try it now. Problem in AI agent. So there's another problem. Now the chat node is gone, but now there's another problem. So what we'll do is we'll go, hey, I got another problem. Now this is super important because it's going to literally teach you how you can make way and not have any problems with anything. Like it'll literally teach you how you can be able to go through and fix and dial in a bunch of different things. So hey, I got another problem. It says in the AI agent, no prompt is specified. We'll send this off and let's see what it says. Cool. And then now look what we have here. The error no prompt is specified in the AI agent node means that the node is missing the required prompt input. The prompt is the instruction or message you want the AI agent to process. How to fix this? Open the AI agent node. Okay. This is labeled as prompt or system prompt. Type a message in the instruction and summarizing the follow-up text. So, look, as you can see here, there's no prompt. You can set up a prompt here. Like, hey, you are a, let's say, specialized. You are a customer support expert. Please respond to this message. Right? And then we can find the message that we sent off earlier. Find where it is. Okay. It is right here. Respond to this message. Give it a prompt to respond to. And now let's test it. Cool, and now it works. So this is the same thing. When you keep getting these specific errors, you can go through and you can find certain workflows and everything like that. So like, for example, this one here, another problem. You can come in here and type the same thing and it will come out. Another thing you can do, sometimes you'll come up with certain problems that aren't as specific or aren't as helpful. What you can do is you can copy this actually, right? And then go over to ChatGPT. And if you go to ChatGPT, there's specific trained AI agents that have, a little bit more knowledge on n8n, and you could type in stuff like this, like if you feel like using this too as well, because a lot of times like the other one can be a bit slow, and I want to show you guys different workarounds and ways you can make this simple. Like, hey, you can be like, so for example, you can be like, hey, I'm trying to create this workflow, but it keeps giving me an error. And then you just go through and you copy and paste this whole entire workflow into ChatGPT, and then you just wait for the response to see what it says. And what it'll do is it'll type out a bunch of things that it thinks it's wrong and how you can fix it. So super simple ways to go through this. So anytime you have an error, don't be afraid to go through and try troubleshooting a bunch of different things for yourself, because it's more than possible to go through and do this for a whole workflow. I do this sometimes for my workflows. When there's a ton of errors and I don't know what to do, I go through, I go down here, and I also paste the whole thing into ChatGPT and see what's going on. And I also cross-reference as well. A big thing you should do is cross-reference and just use, because as you make more and more workflows, you'll start to go around and see, like, okay, I remember like in this specific point in time, I did something that made way more sense, or I did something that fixed everything. And it might be the same thing, because if you think about it like in a systems thinking type of thing, at the end of the day, these workflows want to work for you. You just have to plug it in and set it up the right way. If you don't, it's not going to work. So we just have to make sure that we're connecting everything in the right order, in the right way. But that's a pretty much foolproof way that you can be able to troubleshoot any workflow and get it to work by just a bit of trial and error. So let's go ahead and dive into the next section. So while everyone's posting 3 times a day, I built this AI agent that writes the content for them, and I sold it for $1K. Every morning it writes viral hooks, turns them into some fire-ass scripts, and sends them to my Slack. That's it. Literally nothing else. It just does it automatically. Just look at her. Isn't she sexy? It's a bad bitch. I built this for one of my creators, and then I realized that it was super valuable for him, so I started building it for other people and started selling it for $1K. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can do this too as well. So let's jump right into it. So what we have here is we have it built through n8n. It's a super simple way to use AI agents. I use it for all of the other AI agents that I've made, but I want to break everything down too. So what we have here, what you just witnessed of it creating a script, is you see that it has a trigger that goes off at 10 a.m. This is optional. It goes over to a Google Sheet that has bullet points of what I want for like different clients. I have it split it up one by one, and then I have the big boy AI agents that are over here cooking up. They're literally cooking up scripts, and it's writing a script, it's proofreading the script, and then as well, it's segmenting. So if the script is fire, it's gonna go ahead and pump it out over here. If it's not, if the script is trash and it needs to be fucking fixed, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna just pump it over here, and it's going to redo it. So walking through it, here we have a node that sets it up at 10 a.m. We have the Google Sheet over here where you can see it's, for example, it's pulling everything from it. So the name of whoever the client's name is, what the topic is, the goal, the tone, and the audience that you're talking to, goes over here to the viral script writer with the AI agent that's over here writing all the scripts for it. Then right here, we're going over to the proofreading AI agent, where this then goes through and it reads through it and it'll let you know if it's fire or not, right? And then what we do is it's a split. If it is an 8, 9, or a 10, it'll go off and send into Slack like you saw already and drop the fire script. And you see earlier it dropped the 8. If not, it goes down here and it goes to an editing agent, which then what it will do is it'll cook it up and it will show if it's an 8, 9, or a 10. If it's not, it goes down here, and then we cook it up here. This is the same thing that I've used to get results like this as well for other clients. And I'm going to literally walk you guys through on how to create it, and then also walk you through how you can be able to approach people and sell this and who you want to sell this to. So let's just dive straight into it and build one down here from scratch. So first thing that we're going to need is when you set up your n8n account, what we're going to actually do is, once you have here, it'll take you to like a digital whiteboard. And I'm not going to get techie on you guys, because as you guys can probably tell, I'm not super techie. I'm just a normal dude making these in his room. So we're going through and we set up a schedule. So it's like a schedule AI node. And what that will look like is, let me just detach this one. You'll go over here, and then you'll just have it set up here to a specific trigger. So what that looks like, it's just, you go in here, you type in trigger. Since I already have one, it's not gonna come up, but you can set up over here though. It'll be trigger manually on app event. What you wanna do is you just select on schedule. So once you select on schedule, this will pop up, and then you could trigger this whenever. So going through settings, what you can do is you can have this set up, every day, or you can do every hour, doesn't even matter. You can have it set up like that. Every hour, let's say we're doing this every day, and the hour, let's just say 12. After that, what we have set up here is on the Google Sheet. And let me go ahead and show you what this Google Sheet actually looks like. Super simple. We're going to make one together. All right, super simple. Like I said, all we need is you just need these prompts over here. I just set it up this way: name, topic, goal, tone, and audience. And you just have it set up here with, their name, the topic, the goal, the tone, and the audience for whatever client you're making it for. Another good thing as well that I'll show you later in the video, you can let people demo this type of thing, and it's literally gonna fucking work. It's gonna be super fire. I'm gonna show you exactly how I sold this too. So after we jump through here, we have the Google Sheet. What we then want to do is go over to fetch script task. Once we do that, the way we do it is we go over to Google Sheets. We pull up the Google Sheet right here, create the spreadsheet. Connecting the Google Sheet account is not tedious at all, honestly. Just pull up here and then sign into the Google account. Like I said, we're going to break this down. Super simple. Sign into the Google account. You have it as, it'll have these two options. Have it as document. No, don't have it as document. Have it as sheet with document. Go over here. Go to get rows. And then from the list, as you see, I have a bunch of these, but we're doing the content spreadsheet. It's a bunch of different stuff I have for clients down here. I'll get more into that later. Sheet 1, if you don't have it titled, it'll be a sheet 1. Right? And we want it to match this. As you can see, content spreadsheet, sheet 1. We have all that good to go. What I like to do is make sure when you're going through this video with me, I'm going to pause here for a little bit to test it. We want to make sure it pulls the right data. So we'll test it. Boom. Node executed successfully. You'll see it down here. Remember, just work with me. Don't get too overcomplicated or overwhelmed. We're going to get it done. As you can see, you just want to make sure that this is the same thing that you're seeing over here. So as you can see, name, Kyle, topic, AI automation, name, Kyle, topic, AI automation. It's pulling from the right sheet, so we're good to go. After we have that, it's chef's kiss. We're going to break this down super simply. So let's just say we're going to have the one Google Doc here. This is optional if you have multiple nodes on the Google Sheet, but let's just keep it simple with just one because I want to really simplify and really let this hit home for you guys. After that, this is where we have the bread and butter. This is what people are paying the cash money for, right? So what we have over here is the viral scriptwriter. And with the viral scriptwriter, it's an AI agent plugged up with the sauce. You gotta the AI agents are good, but you gotta plug it up with the right type of sauce. So I'm gonna show you. We're going to go over here, advanced AI. And then after we're going through advanced AI, we're going to the AI agent. Now, work with me here. So remember, pay attention and lock in right here. So, oh, sorry, I have a bit of OCD. Let me just move this down. All right, cool. Over here, we have it as the tools agent. But what you want to do is you don't have it set here on connected chat trigger node. We don't want to do that. What we want to do is go over to define below. And this is the sauce I'm telling you. You have to pay attention here. This is where all the bread and butter is. What you need, it's all about prompting. If you don't prompt it the right way, it's not going to work. You're gonna get some watered down version. I want you guys to have the sauce. So as you can see with the prompt here, if you don't give it any prompt, it's just gonna spit out the most random shit ever. You can't even not have a prompt. If you're like, I want to write a viral script, let's say we do some weak shit in here. What it's gonna cook up. Let's see, 1 second. One second, I gotta add the chat model. But what it's gonna cook up is very weak, and I could show you. Let me add this chat model quick. I'll explain what this means later, but I just want to show you guys as an example of why it's super important to really have that sauce built in. And just go ahead and run this step and test it. Cool. Now you're seeing the difference here. I just printed it out. I want to write a viral script. If you're not precise with it, it starts cooking up some shit like this. That is not what was cooked up over here before that we showed you inside the Slack channel. Two different things. If you want to get something like this, what you need to do is prompt it the right way. So as you can see over here, this is the prompt that we have. I get super in-depth with everything. You're a viral short-form video scriptwriter trained on high-performing TikTok and Instagram Reels, right? 30-second video, input, format, following, tone, all of that. We set up all of this. So what we're going to do is, you can see this too as well. You could either pause here, copy and paste, and put it into your agent as well. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring that over here, and we're going to give it the sauce. I usually click over to expression because I want to pull this up big, and then I paste everything into here. And to make this realistic for you, I'm going to explain what these green things are, because these are super important for you to understand the concept of it. So what these are is, I set it up the same way where it's like the topic, goal, tone, and audience. The Google Sheet might change. It might be subject to change. You might want something different. And if you want something different, you don't want to have to go run around and mess with the agent and plug something else up, because that takes the automation out of the agent. And we're getting paid for AI agents that are automated. So what we're going to do is, we have these set up as fields following the topic, no matter what. If this wants to be changed into cat and dog videos, for all I care, it won't change, because you'll be able to take it from the Google Sheet in the nodes and in the field. You can just take it, drag and drop it right here. You can take goal, drag and drop goal right here. You can take tone, drag and drop the tone right here. And then you can take audience and drag and drop the audience right here. Boom. Now look, following the topic, AI automation, goal, make it punchy. So even if this switches, for another client, it might look like epoxy flooring. Or for another client, it might look like a clothing brand, right? It's all different. And that's the sauce I'm trying to show you guys. All of this is key. Also, a big thing I want to show you guys as well is, yes, it is in the prompting. Before we move on to the chat models, because it won't work unless you have a chat model, the way you can prompt it is actually very simple. And you could go into ChatGPT to prompt your AI agent. Let me show you. So for example, you could walk into ChatGPT and just say something like, hey, I'm building an AI agent. I want this agent to be able to write me viral short form scripts that really get the viewer to stop scrolling. I want to go over and beyond this prompt to give my AI agent, so don't hold back. And what's going to happen is going to go ahead and cook up for you. And after it cooks up for you, you're going to see. Let's check it out. I'll let this punch out real quick. And as you can see, it's starting to give you the sauce we were talking about. It's starting to really pull up and just print out everything that you need. So jumping back over there, you can just copy and paste this. Still, remember, when you copy and paste something like this in here, you still want to use all these fields. So that way you get that customization in there. But once you get that cooked up, let me explain to you why you need a little dangly thing down here. Pause. What you need to do is, a lot of these, as you can see, I'm using Claude. I want to be able to make this as accessible for you guys as possible. Of course, I could show you guys some really later, really complicated stuff, but it's you got to pay a couple $100 out of pocket for it. But I'm going to make this as accessible as possible. So what this is the same way I'm using ChatGPT. The AI agent is the brain, but still needs a chat model to feed everything into while you're not there. So one thing that I do use that I've found that works pretty well is Claude. And inside of Claude, it's actually simple. All you need to do is go over here and type in Claude API. Once you go over to Claude API, it'll make you create an account. And once you create an account, you'll get an API code. For Claude, you do have to pay $500. No, not $500. You have to pay $5. My fault. You have to pay $5 to set up an account. And if you have it, cool, set up it that way. But let me show you a free option that you can use that works fine as well. And this is what I use for a lot of other clients, because I don't feel look, hey, can I get $5 to put this in for your agent? It doesn't really matter all that much. And I'd rather not just ask them for more things. I'd rather get it done quickly. So another thing you can use is called Open Router. And let me show you why this is the sauce too as well. shouldn't be sharing this. So after you make an open router account, what it'll look like is this. And like I said, don't just follow with me. Like, you don't got to overcomplicate this like everyone else on YouTube does. Go over here to prompt pricing. You see that bad boy over here? Boom, prompt pricing. Drag that sucker all the way to free. For the free, scroll down, and then you're going to look for DeepSeek. Tap that, go over to API, tap that, and then it's going to give you a code. API key, honestly, like, I know what it means, but like, you don't need to know what it means. Copy it, don't share it with anybody, pull up over here, boom, then we're going to drop it into here. Open router chat model. Honestly, we should just call this one for the free. Cool. We click that pencil icon, and then we paste that super secret code that you don't even share to your mother. Drop that in there, and then let's run it. Let's just see. We got to test it real quick. All right, boom. So let's look. And then it goes ahead and prints us out a script. Like I said, guys, this shit is not that complicated. The only thing, I'm gonna teach you guys. You all gonna learn some shit on this video. So check this out. The next one we go over is to the proofreading agent. So we want to be able to, yes, print out scripts, but also we don't want to leave it unsupervised. We want it to have a team of overseers and a team of people. Think about it. Some of the best teams have more than one copywriter. They have people proofreading stuff all the time. Why shouldn't we? So we're going to take advantage of that. We're going to open up another AI agent, another bad boy, and then we're going to put this one in here. Cool. Remember, define below, and that way we can prompt the user message below. And then what we do is, yes, we're going to need another one over here. We'll just use open router just because that's probably what a lot of you guys will use too as well. Cool, we'll have that. And then, like I said, it's all about the sauce. It's all about the prompting. As you can see here, this is what I have for the prompt. Like I said, if you want to go ahead and go into ChatGPT and start creating your own prompts as well, do it. Like, this is what we're here for. We're here to learn. We're here to create insane agents. So let me switch over to expression so I can put it a little big. And remember, I have it set up something like this, but with the script, drag and drop output over here so it can see it, so it can rank it. So let's see what it ranks this script as. We're going to go ahead and punch this one out. And then let's see, what did we get? We got an 8. Cool. So it's not a trash script, so it'll pass through. Next thing that we need is, and like as we're literally 80% of the way there. Like we're almost done. We're chilling. We're big chilling. So what we have now is we have it set up into this, right? And what this is it's just like an if, and I'll show you. We go over here, literally type in if. Have it set up like that. Like, you know what I mean? Literally have it set up like that. And then what I have it set up here is it's just like conditions, contains 8, or contains 9, or contains 10. And then what it'll do is it'll move it over. So make sure yours looks like this. And once it does, just go ahead and run another test on it. And then these tests take a while sometimes, so we'll just wait for it to finish. As you can see, it pushes through. It's an 8, so it's true. And then what starts to happen is if it's true, remember what we'll do is we'll start sending it over to the team, or we can send it over to the client so they can just read through it and then go and record. Because think about it. Now, the fact like a lot of these content creators, bro, you don't understand how much of a pain in the ass it is to wake up, be out of ideas, run about ideas, and just go through and just be like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to write. I'm not motivated to write. I have no ideas. Instead, they can constantly get ideas fed to them, and they can just read off of the scripts. Super valuable to people that only make content for their whole life, right? I'm not saying that's a bad thing by any means. Like I said, this is optional. You don't really need that. This is just to make the formatting pretty. It doesn't really matter all too much. What I send it to is Slack, because I'm in Slack channels with a lot of my clients. So all I do over in Slack is I send a message. Slack account, I just connect my account that way. Resource, you have it as message, right? Follow me here. Operation, we have over at send. Send message to channel. And then you're going to see a bunch of my channels here, but I have it over here in CBO Content Ideas, simple text message, right? And then what I just put over here in it is I just say script ranking. So we know script ranking. Let me move this over to expression. Let me just pop it up big. Script ranking. I put it here so they can know that it is an 8. And then I put the whole entire script here. Script ranking 8. And then we have the whole script here. And let me show you. We'll go ahead and test that one. And then you'll see. We'll be on the lookout for this one until it sends. It just went ahead and sent. You'll see over here. Cool. And then we can just pop over into Slack. And then you can see, cool, script ranking 8. Boom. See? Very, very simple. And then another one, let's say if it's false, we have this set up. So we need to use another agent here. And we'll pull that one up. AI agent. Same thing, define below. Expression. And let me show you guys how I have it prompted over here. We just go ahead, we take this one, boom. Let me prop this up big so you guys can see it. Cool, that one will prompt over here. We'll drop that one in here. And then of course what we're doing is we're having here, return only the improved script with the clear section labels. The old script, we're dragging and dropping this in here, and then the feedback we're dragging and dropping this in the judge feedback so we can know, so they can know like, oh, the judge gave it a 7, oh, the judge gave it a 6. Same thing, we're adding in another for the free ski. And guys, like I said, this is all prompting. You all just want to be able to go in and prompt it so we can get it right. After we have that added in, what we can then do is same thing. I can just you can honestly just copy and paste this one because it'll have the same format. And there you go. You just literally created it yourself. Literal bad bitch. Look at it. This is a bad bitch over here. And you can sell this for 1K at least, and even more. And you can add on to it. Also as well, don't worry, if you have any errors or anything like that, I am going to give you a copy and pasteable version in the resources tab too as well. And also if you guys want like one-on-one help with stuff like this to show you how you can sell agents like this, like how I can show you as well. But let me show you something quickly on how you can go about in selling these agents. So the big thing that we want to sell this to is digital service providers. So that's either aka content creators, agency owners, because agency owners are content creators a lot now too as well. And then of course, what they're buying a lot is onboarding agents, copywriting agents, data tracking agents, and content agents, like how I showed you. And these people are super easy to find. You literally find them all over on your Instagram. You literally can find them all over on YouTube. Like, check this out. Let's say someone like this, for example, since the crypto niche is always popping up. This guy is posting every single day. What you can do is you can go to the YouTube, right? Find his email, and then shoot him over an email like this. Let me show you. Cool. So what we can do is we can send over a simple message like this, like, hey, name, I created you an AI agent that is trained from all your content. It will pump out video scripts that sound exactly like you since it's been trained on all your videos. Cool. What we're going to do here, and just pay close attention, what we're going to do here is we can literally easily go here. You don't need, Bitcoin dominant. You don't even really, you can watch this video, but what you can do is you can take a couple transcripts, copy these transcripts, right? After we copy these transcripts, we can then take it over into ChatGPT. Boom, you can cook up something like this. Hey, I'm creating another prompt, but I wanted to write viral scripts based on the prospect. And then you can, the more the better. Like you could probably put 2 or 3 transcripts in here, send it over to it, watch it cook up. We'll let this cook up for a second. Now look what it cooks up. Got it. You're building a hyper-personalized prospect AI agent, and we're tailoring it sound like this guy who's deep in the crypto world, especially around altcoins and Cardano. Steady, data backed. Cool. We then take this prompt. We take this whole entire prompt. We copy it, and then we take it over to our AI agent. And then what you start doing is you start pasting it into the AI agent and start making it accustomed to this. Then what you do is you start printing out a bunch of different scripts. We then take the scripts, we drag them over here. But this is a sauce. We drag them over here and we start plugging in here. Imagine what happens when you start getting on calls with people like this and you've already written them 10 viral scripts. You're gonna be like, holy fuck, this dude's a genius, right? This is the type of stuff that people are paying for, not the bullshit automations that you're seeing on YouTube. This is the shit people are paying for. Of course, I'm going to go more in depth with everything, but I hope this helped. I hope this was valuable to you. I'll see you guys on the next one. If you guys want some resources, check the description. And if you guys want a chance to see if you guys are a good fit to work one-on-one with me, you could go ahead and click the link below too as well. Until then, peace. Have fun building. All right. One thing I wanted to go over as well, and I don't want to give you guys a n8n agent course and then not show you guys how to make an agent that onboard. So pretty much what this is, it's as the name says, it's an onboarding agent, and essentially what it does is it actually has a lot of purposes. Like if you're onboarding clients, like selling clients, doing your own stuff, this will work for your own offer. Or if you're plugging it into someone else's business to deal with onboarding as well, it does really, really well. And the reason that makes this super valuable is, like, if you guys don't already know, there's something called, in the field that I'm from, CSMs. And what a CSM is it stands for Client Success Manager. And you hire these people at around like starting $2,000 a month already. Like you hire them at starting $2,000 a month already. And a lot of businesses, one of the businesses I'm scaling has 4 of them, because that's just how many, like they only can deal with like, I say like 30 of like the high ticket clients a month before like it's super unstable. So with that being said, like you should do the math in your brain. So it's like, okay, already something's being paid out $8,000 to fulfill on this. And this agent kind of gets rid of it, right? And I'm going to go through and show you exactly how it does. So what happens is, as you can see here, we have a webhook set up. And I'll do a quick rundown, as I always do. I'll walk through it, and then we're going to have fun in building it together and see how we can make it better too as well. But what we have here is a simple webhook. And with this webhook, what it does is it goes through, it collects data. After that, it sends over the data to a Google Sheet, because as you guys know, we always keep everything on Google Sheets. We have an AI agent that cooks up a message to notify them about their purchase. So as you can see here, like this automation already. I know a lot of you guys, when you buy something, first thing you get is a confirmation email automated. But we're going to take it to another level past that. We're going to create a little sequence, an automated sequence. What we then have happen is it waits, and then we send them another email like about their purchase, and then we send them another email to check in with everything. Just like, oh yeah, checking in again. After that, we wait again. We send them another email. So as you can see, it's a whole workflow of automations that we have set up here. So going through the webhook, of course, we have it set up here as a post, and it's collecting all the data that would be coming through a successful payment. After that, we, of course, shoot it down over to the Google Sheet, and we just have test data here. As you can see, we're just pushing that in there. We have the AI agent over here that we have prompted to have everything set up here. And the payment processor that we are using it from right now is WAP, because that's just the payment processor that I'm going to use for the test. It's super easy to test going through. After we do that, then we have the email that gets sent off. And this is the first initial email that's telling them about their purchase, congratulating them. And then what we have set up is a wait. The reason why we're waiting is we just wait an hour. We don't want to spam them with too much emails. But what this is going to do, it's going to create a message here, and then let's just test it so we can get the output of it. We'll just give it a second here. It'll then spit out a response, and then this one is pretty much just to like book a call, asking any initial questions too as well. And the reason why we do this is we like to book in a call, and a lot of other clients like to book in calls with leads after they buy, because it's just like there's a 48-hour rule in things, and I've said this already, but the first 48 hours is the most important in terms of making sure someone believes about it in their purchase. Everyone thinks about their purchase in the first 48 hours, whether they're going to go through with it or not, or they're going to try to ask for a refund and see what's going on there with it, right? So it's like you want to take the first 48 hours as serious as possible, to be real. You don't really want to play around with it after, because I've seen it time and time again. The most refund requests or like cancellation requests always happen in the first 48 hours. So you definitely want to attack that and correct that. After we have that set up, of course, we have a send email note over here, and what we're doing is we're just plugging it in here and we're sending off the message to their email. Then we have another wait, and the wait is a day, because now a day from now in 24 hours we're going to send just like another like reminder, telling them about how great of a purchase it was. And what that literally looks like is, we'll go here. I'll have to skip this wait, because this wait, we're going to need the data from it, and it's at 1 day. So let me just quickly move it over to seconds and get it to spit out information. Boom. As you can see, we got the data coming through right here. So it's perfect. Yeah. After we I hate when it does that. After we get the data, we go over here. It's another prompting agent. As you can see, it prompts here. Here's what you know. And it's just another AI agent set up to where now we're able to craft a message. And then after we craft the message, we have it sent over to email again. We send off the email. And then after the email is sent, it's another wait node. It's a day as well. So as you can see what's going on, we have it set up in the first 48 hours. So they get an email on hour 24, and as you can see over here, they're getting an email on hour 48. First 48 hours to make sure. And it's just reminders, just hyping them up, just making sure we're crafting good emails to get people to be like, oh, these guys are going to take care of me. I know that the product that they're delivering on is going to help me get the end result that I'm looking for. Going over to the wait, of course, we'll just move this to seconds for the sake of the video, and we'll get it to just spit out information. Okay, cool. We got it over here. Just double check. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll be solid now. And then it gives us the information we need over here. Another prompt that's set up, ships it out, and then we'll just wait for a response. And then cool. As you can see, another response comes out of there, and then we're sending off an email. Super simple workflow, but super powerful. Like an onboarding workflow set up for, for example, your clients, or set up for yourself as well. Because if you think about it, the way you can use it vice versa is, yes, you can use it for clients, but what you can also do is, if you're delivering a workflow to someone, you want to be able to use this. So it's like, let's say you sell a business from whatever niche that we've already explained in the video, or later on in the video. You are going through and you sold them the AI service, and you just want to make sure that they're onboarded correctly. You can be following up with them and keeping them up to date without even touching it, while you can just work on the automation. That's the beautiful thing about it. You don't have to be super hands-on with, especially with AI automation and n8n agents nowadays. Like, you don't have to be super hands-on with the whole onboarding process. You just let workflows like this that I've just made in front of you just take care of it. But what we'll do now is we'll go through and we'll start creating this together. We'll literally cook it up together, and then also I'll show you guys ways on how you can make it even more cracked than this. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into building this. So the first thing we're gonna need is we're gonna need a webhook. And what that's going to look like is, we're just gonna come over here, we're gonna set it up, webhook, and then as you can see, it'll look like this when we have it. Why would it put this webhook all the way over here? But we'll just put it under here for just like side to side comparison purposes. So we'll get a webhook over here. But the thing is, with the webhook, what needs to happen is we need to put it over on post. And then once we put the webhook over on post, then it's usable. If you don't have it on post, it's not going to collect the data from whatever you're doing it. And whatever payment processor you're using, if you're using Stripe, if you're using WAP, if you're using Payments AI, if you're using just whatever payment processor you're using, it needs to be set on post, or it won't work. So what you do is you just click here, and then you go over to whatever payment processor you're using. And what it'll be in is, it'll be inside of webhooks usually. And when it's inside of webhooks, it'll just look like this. You just paste that same exact thing in here, your version, and then you just select the event. The event I'm selecting is payment succeeded, and then we can just save that and go back over to what we're doing. So what will then happen is, you should be able to test this and get data. So what we'll do is, we'll run a test and get the data for it now. So here, boom, we'll test it, and we'll just wait for it to trigger off. Cool, it just went through. And now, as you can see, it just gave us data. The thing about this too as well, like the test data is great, but also you should always try just like even testing like $1, for example, like in the payment processor, so you can make sure it's all good to go. But we'll just run with the test data for the sake of time in this video, okay? So once we have that set up there, what we'll do is we'll get a good old Google Sheet. Let me pull one of these up. Cool, we get a Google Sheet. And then what we'll do is append our update row. And we just want it to look identical. Like we're just gonna match and make it identical as the top. So what that looks like then is it's normal. You'll have an error on yours. Make sure you just connect your Google account here by just signing in with Google. Super easy setup. Sheet with document, make sure that's selected right here. Append or update row. And then what we're gonna do is just pick the certain sheet that we have. This is right here. I have a revenue tracking sheet, and then sheet payment records, and then it'll map each column here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to drag and drop all the data that we're going to use inside of here. And of course, this is just customizable, but you can do whatever you want. And then of course, you can see the name will pop right here, just from like just dummy test data here, because the payment processor is just giving me example data here. Cool. So we have that. We have the name. We just grab the email. Email will be somewhere here. Just plug the email in here, and we're just dragging and dropping everything into there. We'll just use name, final amount. Okay, cool. So total. So amount, we can just take total and then put USD here. And as you can see, we're just dragging and dropping everything into where it needs to be. Date is not that important. We don't need to do date. If you're doing like different types of programs, you can do programs, but they're not that important either as well. It's only important when you're doing different types of programs. But let's just say we're just doing one program here. We'll test the data. I'll match them parameters. Y. Yep. So the reason why it's saying this, the column to match on perimeter is required, is it just, what it means is in the Google Sheet column, it just needs to know where it's putting all the rest of the data through the line. And the best way to match it is the reason why we just use email. Email is more consistent than client data. Watch after you do that. It'll submit it and it'll be good to go. Now, since we have data, now what we're going to do is we're going to just pull up an AI agent here. We'll go over to Advanced AI Agent. Make sure it's Tool Agent, and then you have it at Define below. And then we go over here to Chat Model. As you guys know, I use Claude, but by now you guys should also know that, let me just disconnect. You should also know that OpenAI is a good one too as well, but if you've not, this is like the free version, but if not, you're good just using Claude as well. We'll just connect that. And then also it's all about prompting here. So I'm gonna go in and actually grab this prompt from up here. Boom, we'll take it. We'll go from here. And we'll just paste it down below. Cool, move it over to expression. And then we'll just have, okay, so we're not doing program on this go around, and then we're not going to do purchase date because it didn't really give us any purchase date info. And then we just run it like this. Of course, this prompt is not the end all be all. Like, we can make it better. We can make it better, and all you have to do is just copy it in here and just be like, because it's all about testing. Let's actually test these thoroughly. Hey, welcome to the Digital Product Family. That's cool, but let's make this a little bit stronger together. And what that's going to look like is like, hey, I'm an AI agent that helps me with my client success and onboarding can't spell and onboarding new clients. This is the current prompt. Better and have more personality. and then something along the lines of, and really make them feel at home for making this purchase. And then what you can then do is like, this is the current prompt that I'm using below. Let me just fix these. Prompt that I'm using below. And we'll just punch that in. Let's see what it does. Cool. We can just take this one, upgrade a prompt, move it over into here. We'll move it over into here. Okay. Like input data. And let's see what it does. We're just gonna delete all of these. And just program name. Let's just call it systems. Just call it let's just call the program AI systems, for example. Cool. Now we're just doing the same thing. Client name, email address, and then total amount paid. Boom. Let's test this thing now. Boom. Look, hello Stephen, congratulations on joining answers. Remain in payment at 10. I'm thrilled to welcome you on board. Get ready to embark on a transforming journey. Cool. Dope. And there's always ways we can tweak it and make it better. So now that we have that, we're literally on our way already. Let me just move myself over here. Cool. Now what we're going to do is we're going to jump over here. Send. Keep saying that. Like, you're trying to tell it send Gmail, but it's just like, it just doesn't come up for me. Send a message. There we go. Same thing as always. Just make sure that this is connected here. Resource is going to be message. Operation is going to be send. And then come in here to, so usually you're just going to put this email right here, but I don't want this email to be landing in spam if it's just a fake dummy email. So I'll just put just a test email for myself. But of course, what it's supposed to look like is just make sure you guys have something like this drag and dropped in here. Test. Cool. Of course, as you know, we make our own subject lines as well. You can get the AI agent to make the subject line if you want, but I just like making especially for something like this, the AI agent doesn't have to make different subject lines. It's like thank you for your purchase. Email type HTML, and then the message, as you know, we're just gonna drag and drop this in here, and we're gonna fire that one off into the realm of email. And it went through and it sent. Cool. Now what we do is, this is preference too as well. We're going to do a wait node. And the reason why we're going to do this wait node is because we don't want to send them a bunch of emails at once. We just want them to, get their confirmation email, right? And then get set up with an onboarding agent. So this can be an hour. This can be 30 minutes. This can be 15 minutes. Doesn't matter. Let's just say like 15 minutes, for example. We come here. As you guys know, we drop wait in there. We go over to wait. We'll just do 15 minutes. And then what we then do is wait here for 15 minutes. Just kidding, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna go ahead and skip this. And then we'll just make sure that it gives us data. Sometimes you have to test these a little bit more to give you data. Let me see. No, it's supposed to say 15 minutes, and then we're gonna test it. And then also, just so we're not confused, we'll just be like a 15-minute wait. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and test this. Cool, and now we have the timer set up over here. We have the 15-minute wait. Next thing that we do is we get another AI agent. And let's just say this one is the one that's like, oh yeah, come in, book a call. We'll we'll show you around like what another CRM could do. So now like we can have or CSM. We can have just one person taking the calls rather than 4 people needing to text this message to certain people setting up calls and shit. We literally just set this up one time, or just have something set up to where if anyone has any questions, they can come reach out to us. So as usual, we'll just bump another AI agent in here. No, define below is what we want to use, and then we're gonna prompt it the right way. The prompt that we have over here, you can see we can just copy in this one. You're a friendly onboarding assistant, a new client purchased an hour ago. And we can just switch that, write a short, friendly follow-up, encourage them to book a call with the team so someone can show them around and answer any questions. So that's fine. As you guys know, feel free to just always try to make it better. Pop it into where it needs to go. Make it better with ChatGPT or any other prompts you can. And what we'll do is just take this off. And then recent message, boom. Just put this in here, and it's gonna be from AI Agent 1. And if it makes it easier, just like having names for it, or it's like CSSM book a call, CSM agent. Book a call. Cool. We have that set up. Let's test it, get some data. And we'll just give it a second. The wait. Just go a second. 1 second. When you're also testing with the weights, by the way, like you'll start getting errors like this. Just when you're doing it, this won't change anything, but just go on and just do 1 second, because if not, it actually, like, n8n will actually make you wait before you can get the data, and you won't be able to work with it. So just if it's 1 hour or 1 day, it's still gonna do it when it's live, but just set it to 1 second for the sake of, just being able to go through and do it faster. Let me just add a chat model here, and then we'll wait for that, and then let's test it one more time, see what we get. There we go. Cool. I hope you're excited. We're about journeys with AI systems. I'm here to ensure you get the most out of your investment. To help you hit the ground, how about we schedule a quick call? I'd love you to walk you through it. So one way we can make this better is just like, for example, CTA at the end of the email, the actual link to book in a call. Cool. And then, for example, like if you guys have a link, like this is the link to book a call below. And then, for example, all you need to just put here, what I'm just putting here, make sure you put it here for yourself, is insert call link. Cool. Boom. We'll just get that message to type out. Let's see if we get it again. Book your call here, insert call link, look forward to connecting with you soon. There. And we got that fixed. Cool. Next thing, Gmail note again. Send a message. Let's get that one. And the same thing, as you guys know already. What we'll then go over to is, of course, you'll have the email to put in here, but like I just said again, we'll just run a test, because the data we have right now, we don't want it to send a regular email. Just give me a second to just put these in. Just make sure you guys are following along as well. It's like and like this subject line, one more thing name. Where is one more thing name. Cool. We got that message, and then we just take it from here. No, we don't take it from here. We take it from here, because this is the right AI agent. Make sure you guys aren't just double checking and you have the attention to detail, because I could easily just ruin this whole automation by putting this in the message as well, because then I would just be spamming people the wrong thing. So that's why it's super important to just go through things, troubleshoot, test it, just make sure everything is going well together. We got another wait node, and this one is going to be set to a day. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop over here. Wait 5 seconds. So what it will look like is just 1 day, but of course for the sake of just like getting data, we're just gonna do 1 second. And then we can just like, and this is just gonna help you when you're looking at the node, like when something goes wrong. There's always to name them as well. That'll help you guys, especially when you're just starting out, so you can come through and actually pinpoint what's going on. Next thing, it's just like a nice little follow-up email to just know like what's going on. Thing you can have set up here is another one of these. And then all that literally looks like, just boom, having that set up here. Same thing, tools agent, defined below, nothing changes on this one. And then you have this set up like so. You're an onboarding assistant, new client made a purchase, and see, we're not doing that. It's not an hour ago. So I think we grabbed the wrong one. Yeah, we possibly grabbed the wrong one. It's not supposed to say that. We'll just fix it together here. Boom. Just take this, take it over into here, and then just come up with a new prompt. Okay. Make a follow-up prompt to this one below, but I just want it to be sent to them. Prompt there, I want to send them a day after their initial purchase to reassure them. All right, let's see what we get. Cool, so what it does is it spits us out this response over here. We're just gonna take this and bring it back into n8n here. Let's just make sure that we're in this one. All right, cool. Yeah, let's go through 0.7 over here. And then we'll just paste these names in here. It's the client data. Name. All we need is name and email on this. Cool. Let's spit out a response now. See what we get. All right, and we'll just fix it. No subject line. Yeah, we don't need a subject line. And we just tell it here, please. Yeah, please just give me the actual email. I don't need a subject line. And for you guys wondering, the reason why we don't need a subject line is because I keep saying this, like it will put the subject line on the body copy, and we don't want that. We just want it to send it off like that. And then, cool. Now we're done, bro. We just literally go over to Gmail and then send a message. Make sure that's connected. Message, send. Drag and drop the email, as I always say. But we're just doing the test data. Subject line. Open this one. Cool. And then we'll just take this last message and set it over there. Super simple. Look, and we already completed it. What I was just gonna add on to it is like ways you can make it better is, for example, like whenever there's a group call, like let's say that there's a like this type of event has a group call or a special event, you could add to it, you could put a wait node on it, and then on the wait node it could be at a specific time. And on the specific time, let's say you have group calls every you want him to come to the first group call, or you want her to come to the first group call. You set a time like so. Here, let's say just noon works. 0. Yeah, let's say we're setting the time here. Okay, right, and it's like a group call time, or just like a special event time that you want them to attend to. And then you could just cook up another agent here. And see, like, there's always ways to just add on to it and make it better. You can just add it on here, define below, and then you can come up with a prompt. It's like, I want to create noon to tell them to come to my group call so I can introduce them to the community. Cool, and it'll cook me up a prompt here. Just take it, come here, expression, and then just pump it in there as well, and then you get the data. Of course, like this, what we'll have to do is we'll have to move this one over into a way to get the data, but you guys get the point of that. Also as well, another thing you could do if it's like different type of products, you can also add something in here to where, yes, it comes in here like this, but what you could do is you can add a split. No, actually, if. You can add an if here. Let me see. Cool. You can add an if here. And then, boom. So true. And it could be false. And then you can honestly just copy and paste all of these and just format it to the right thing. Boom. Look how easy this is. Come here, format in the right thing, and now this is super cracked. Let me just add one of these to here real quick. But what I'm doing here is like, let's say it's different product sources. So it's like, go over here and is contains, yeah, the condition, or this one, you go over to contains as well. And then we put in, cool, AI Agent 1, output. Okay, so let's say this product is AI Systems. And this one is just AI Consulting, right? You have, let's say we have it set up on the webhook to where like it'll come in, we'll get the data from the product name, because that's what will happen when you're doing a lot of webhooks. It'll have the product name, it'll go through the AI agent, and then it'll get set up here. So for example, how we can run that is request program. So AI Systems is the program, but what you can do is when you're dragging and dropping, it'll have the program here. You'll be able to test a step. Let's just wait for it real quick. Let me zoom out a little bit, make this not as clustered for you guys. 1 second. Cool. And then we'll go back over here, see what it said. Cool. Hi, Steven. Joining AI Systems. So what contain what is going to do is the email is going to have it inside of here. So what it'll then do is we'll just test a step. True branch, false branch. Cool. It'll go down here because as you can see, AI Systems. Oh, wait, hold on. We'll switch it to or. And now let's see. We'll test a step. Okay. So now it goes into true branch. That's correct now because we had it and. No, it needs to be set to or. And then now what will happen is it'll go up here to the right system. And if it has AI consulting, it'll go down here, and you can set up different workflows for that one. So literally what that looks like is like if I wanted to switch it up, I would just go here and just say program AI consulting, test the step, boom, cool. And then let's see, we'll test it, false branch. Now what is it gonna do? It's gonna go down here and go through specific workflows as well. There you go, guys. Like, as you can see, this is super simple, but this is also super valuable because every single company needs to onboard people the right way, have the right type of onboarding processes too as well. And this is something you could sell to creators, you can sell to anyone that is like a brick and mortar business, you can sell to anyone that's heavy with clients and not as much like anything that's heavy with clients' products, you could sell it to them, and this is something that will be super valuable for them, especially like creators would love something like this. Of course, I explain niches later on down the course, but this is just like one small thing that you can do with compared to everything else, right? There's so many things you can do and add in and spice up, and things like this are super valuable. There's not a lot of people that are doing this, but as usual, we will continue to move down the line and keep going through some dope shit. Peace. Yeah, so I barely use the CRM now. I don't follow up manually. This one AI agent handles every single lead, tracks the pipeline, books the calls, all inside of n8n. And I've sold versions of this exact system to clients who are tired of messing around with CRMs because no one likes updating that shit. But in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how it works and how you can build it yourself. All right, so let me walk you through how this shit works, right? So what happens is a lead goes through the form, whatever form you have set up for you or the client that you plan on selling this to. What will then happen is it goes through the form, it updates you, it reads through what exactly is going on, and then it puts them where they need to be inside of the CRM without someone having to manually go through it. And then it decides if it should book a call in with that person or if it should go through and send them through a follow-up sequence because they're just not ready yet. And as soon as the form goes through, it starts to pick up just like this. The form gets submitted, and then on the other end, it starts to run through. And as you can see on this screen, you're getting notifications on Slack with it updating you through the whole entire process of what it's doing. And then the CRM is moving itself with where it needs to go. Myself, and I've showed business owners this too as well, and they literally need it put inside their business. Because one thing is, a lot of people don't like moving around CRMs. It's boring. No one likes to do it, but it needs to be done. So we're going to walk through this step by step. Breaking it down at a lower level, we of course have a Typeform trigger. You just need something to be able to get, the data and the information in there. And that's how we set up the trigger for it to start. Then what we have is we just have it sent through Slack. You can have it sent to anything else like Telegram or anything. This can be preference. But what I like is I like to be able to, on my phone, even if I'm away, since of course automation is practically doing everything for me, I like to be able to get the notifications on my phone just to be up to date. Because sometimes you're not at your laptop looking at the CRM, and you shouldn't be staring at an automation on your screen all day. So that's why we make sure we get a notification sent. And you can even send yourself an email, whatever you want to do. This is just how I have it set up here. Now we have super smart AI agent that definitely won't replace me. And what this does, it's connected to Claude, and what it does is it takes the Typeform data and it reads through it so it can score the lead. It literally scores leads. So, and I'll go into it a little bit later, but the reason why it scores leads is because if a lead is like a hot or like a warmish lead, they get booked into a sales call. If they're not, they get put into this sequence that I've set up for a lot of other clients. I don't use the sequence as much, the other clients use it, and it works super, super well. After that, I like to segment it off like this. So we have where the magic happens and the super smart AI agent and the notifications. This is like, think of it like the first half. Like this is the first, like, okay, they come in, let's organize it before we go into what we do next. After, let's say we have like this whole organization done over here. We already had the lead come in. We know what type of lead it is. Are they hot? Are they cold? Are they warm? Whatever, they come through. Then we go through the CRM. Now look, I'm going to give you guys alternatives, right? It doesn't matter what the CRM is. HubSpot is what I'm using here. Go high level, you can use. That one works completely fine. If you even want to use a Google Sheet to do it, you can. It doesn't matter. The reason why I have it set up like this is because we create a contact, and what we do is we create the contact with all of the data. After you create a contact, the reason why I have find a contact here, I know some of you guys might think, like, I'm very transparent. Like, I'm not an AI nerd. I don't want to make shit harder than it has to be, for real. Like, it honestly defeats the purpose. But I'm telling you right now, like, you do need this because it won't be able to update the exact content. Like, right, we want it to be able to move without us having to touch it, right? So we need to be able to do this. So what we need to do is we find the contact, and what that looks like is you just make sure it's equal to the same exact email. I do email because no one is going to have the same email ever. There's going to be other Marks out there. There's going to be other Johns out there, and you want to do this effortlessly because, right, if you want to be able to sell stuff like this, there can't be flaws in the workflows. So you want to make sure that it's effortless. So make sure you do the email. Once you do the email, it will go through, find the contact with the email, and that's how you know you can get it. And then you go on to update contact. And what you do in update contact is you set it up with the deal name and then the deal ID. And the deal ID, the reason why is because, then again, we don't want to do any names, anything that could be replicated or it's like close. We just do the ID. There's like a small ID that you get inside of the CRM that they tag every lead with, and we want to use that number. We want the data that can't be skewed. It's super important. Then what happens over here, now look, it's super simple too as well. Like, you can sell this for anywhere between $1,000 to even $10,000 depending on who you're selling it to. Clean CRMs are super, super valuable. Listen, I've literally been a part of businesses doing 7-8 figures a year, and trust me, they really do care about their CRMs. Here, the reason why we have it split up is because inside of here, I have it split up depending on if it's hot or warm, right? They're gonna go up here, and what that is as you can see right here, we book a call in with them. It goes down here if they're cold. As you guys know, business is business. Who wants to waste their time with cold-ass leads? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, no one wants to do that. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to split it up. When we go through and we split it up, here, we just have it set up. We just drag this over here. Contains hot, or if it contains warm, right? Before, as you guys could have saw, all the way over here, it contained hot, because this is a hot lead that just filled it out. What happens is it now goes up to here. It updates the contact again, and what it does is it gets put into high intent. This is where it's moving around. So like, you'll have a lead come in that'll go into apply, and as soon as it goes into apply, there's no one wasting, like, there's no sales rep or anyone wasting their time in the applied, because if they're unqualified, it's going to move them into applied, yes, but then moves them right back into unqualified. So everyone will be where they need to be, right? What happens over here is while they're in applied, that's great. But if they're a hot or a warm contact, then they get moved out of applied and they get put into high intent, which will then signal to, the sales team. And this is how, like, the other businesses I'm working for and working with run it, is it's like, oh, okay, like, definitely hit high intent if they haven't booked a call yet, or they, like, the book call just hasn't worked yet. Because not everybody is going to book a call. Like, you have to be realistic here. So after we have that set up, now we have a AI agent that writes emails. And what we're going to do is we're going to write an email for it to go in and book a call. All you need to do for the going to book a call, what I like to do is I like to prompt it, make it write out a certain email, and then you can just take your Calendly link or whatever you use to book a call. I use Calendly, and then you drop the Calendly link and you just CTA to it. So it's like, oh, hey, you have been selected, book a call below at the earliest available time. And then the AI agent will also drop your personal link in there. So that way, now you're going to go through and be able to book a call. And then in another automation, what I have set up just to make it easier is when a lead does book in a call, I have another workflow set up for that, and then it moves that same specific lead. It finds that lead via email because they would have booked in with the same email. Then it goes over and moves it in the CRM. But we're just doing the first regular CRM workflow that we have here. And then last but not least, for a chef's kiss, we notify ourselves in Slack as well. What it looks like if it's false, like if it's a cold lead, we just go through and then we just put it through a simple email sequence. Like over here, what happens when they're unqualified, what we then do is they get, of course, updated in HubSpot or the CRM. As you can see, when you go through, there's no data here, but it will then send them over into unqualified. We get notified in Slack again because we want to update it on our phones, and then we pump them through a email sequence here. Super simple stuff. So now that you guys see that, what we're going to actually do is we're going to go through and make this shit on the video together. And it's going to be super fun. So check this out. All right, let's get into the fun part. We're going to speed run this bitch, making it for ourselves. So what we need to start it off, you need some type of form or whatever you're going to use to go ahead and just like pull information from, and then people like putting in their information. Typeform is the best. So we're going to go through and use Typeform. We ain't going to waste no time here, guys. When we go through, we'll actually disconnect this and have this because this one already has data in it. We're going to make it easier for ourselves. So once they go through and they push it through the Typeform, we're going to have this as a trigger. So it's going to just trigger off every time someone fills it out. It makes it so much easier for us. And it happens at real time. After we have that trigger set up, these are just the notifications. Slack is preference. I personally like not having to be on my computer. That's why I'm making AI agents. So I like to have my phone and see exactly what's going on in real time and just like feel the business through my phone. So I use Slack because I have all my clients in there and my business in there too as well. So through Slack, what that looks like, I'll go ahead and paste this over here. But what that looks like is you'll come through, you set up your Slack account through this pencil through here, message, send, user, and then I have it set up as me, simple text message, and then I have it moved over to expression. What these green things are, if you guys don't know, what it is it has all the data in it, and this has it set up to where it doesn't change. So I put a bunch of just like a random email, random number, and everything in there. But what this happens is if I like say if I put my real information in there, or if I like another lead comes in here, the information coming out here will change, but this doesn't have to change. And that's the way that we can literally have automations that we never have to go back or like go back into creating. And that's what we want. Like we want to build airtight automations that don't have to be changed. After we do that, I have another Slack message that gets sent over, and this one is updating me, and this one's just for the CRM. And as you can see inside of here, same thing, but we just have it set up as new CRM update. And the reason why I want this notification as well is because, like, yeah, we got a new lead, but I also want to make sure it's doing its job. So if under every new lead, I want to be able to see a message that says the CRM was updated. Who doesn't? So let's go through and test these so we can just make sure we're passing the data through. After that goes through, we're going to go to the fun part. The fun part being, and the fun part meaning is we get to play around with some AI agents. I love always setting up a AI agent in here, but we just tap that plus button. We go over to Advanced AI. It'll be right there, bro. AI agent. And then we go down to define below. Tap expression real quick. Cool. Before we go in and we prompt it and tell it what we want it to do, you need a chat model connected to it, and that's like a ChatGPT or a Claude or whatever. You can see them in here when you press the plus button. I use Claude. It's done wonders for me. I love it. I recommend it. But they do charge you like $5 to set it up. If it's not a problem, get Claude. If it is a problem, I got you, fam. You can use OpenRouter. OpenRouter is another one, and you can get it for the free. And I'm going to show you. It's like a back door. So once you go into your search history, you pop over to OpenRouter, and then you just go straight hard left. And when you go hard left, you take prompt pricing and you drag that bitch all the way to the left. Wait, I'm fucking it up. All right, yeah, you drag it all the way to the left. And when you drag it to the left, what you then have here is you go to DeepSeek. This is the one that I usually use. Slap that API button over here. Slap it again. It'll give you a key that you should never, ever share with anyone. Then you go over here, and you set it up by tapping that pencil, pasting it in there. It'll be like connection set up successfully. And then you'll have a working chat model, right? That error will go away, see? And then after, in the chat model, all you need to do is you can, of course, copy and paste mine. Don't worry about this coming red. It's doing that because there's no actual data connected to it anymore. When you paste it in here, it'll work. Watch this. I'm practically like a not so super genius. Look, it pops in green there. Of course, like I said, open router is good, but as usual, if you want, you can use Claude. Let's test it and see the response it gives us. And what we're doing here, remember, what this is it's pulling all the data, it's reading through everything, and then it's saying what kind of lead is it. Like, is it a hot lead? Is it a warm lead? Is it a cold lead? Super important. Like, think about all the times like business owners or sales reps or whoever is going through and they're looking through leads like, this is shitty. This is trash. This one's good. Okay, I want to quit my job. This is bullshit, right? This is replacing that. You don't need this anymore. Let's see what it spits out. Reads through it, says that the lead is a hot lead. Like, hot isn't temperature-wise. Like, it's not attractive. I don't think it can do that yet. I'm going to work on it soon. But it'll say that the lead's hot. After that, now we go into the main part, like how we're actually automating the CRM. So what that looks like is just tapping that plus button. And then I'm using HubSpot. Doesn't matter, though. Like, you can go high level. You can use whatever you feel like it. But I'm using HubSpot. So you can go over into create contact. I usually type it in because HubSpot has 40 different things, dog. It's just kind of confusing. After you go over into create contact, what will then happen is you set up your HubSpot account, same thing, pencil, resource contact, operation create, or update. Then we drag and drop the email. Hey, when you're doing this also, can you please drag and drop the email from the bottom, just because that's the richest data that you want to use. So, and you want to kind of you kind of want everything to be, in sync. So drag and drop the email over here. And of course, what that looks like is just dragging and dropping that over there. Drag and drop the first name, drag and drop the phone number. That's all you really need. If you want preference, you can put the notes in there. Honestly, it's up to you. I don't, but you can put the notes in there. It doesn't really matter too much. After you do that, then what we're going to do is it'll go ahead and just create a normal contact. But creating a contact isn't where we stop, though, because after a contact is created, that just means now we have a new lead in the CRM. What we need to do next is find contact. And I promise, I'm not overcomplicating this shit, because trust me, I don't even want to overcomplicate it myself, but you need to have this, or it's going to kind of just grab anybody and their mom, and that's kind of not what we're doing here. We wanted to automate the whole CRM, so we need to do find contact. Same thing, go over here, HubSpot, and then you just look up find contact. Super simple. After it does that, we go over here, we'll make sure we connect it so we can have the data. What that'll look like is same thing, contact, now search. We turn off return all, and then we put the limit is 1. We only need 1 because this triggers 1 at a time. After that, the filter to find the 1, we have it at email, and then we have it as equal to, and then same thing. We pull all the way from the bottom. This is going to be a pain in the ass to scroll on the bottom, by the way, in 2 minutes. We do email, and I'm going to explain it to you so you guys can learn. I want you guys to be able to learn this so you guys are experts when you sell this. The reason why we do email is because we can't do first name, simply because there's going to be leads in the CRM that both have the name John or both have the name Chris. It's bound to happen. We want to have the richest and the cleanest data. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the email, because no one is going to have the same email address as someone else. That isn't possible. So we're going to do email, because that way it's cleaner. So what it'll do is it'll go through, it'll find the lead by email, and then now it'll have the specific lead. And I'm going to show you the method behind the madness. And honestly, bro, this shit's pretty easy. We're almost literally 80% done already. Wow, that's fast. Now, what we do is we update the contact. And the way you find that is same thing we've been doing, but you just do update deal. The reason why I have set as deal is because my pipeline is the deal pipeline in HubSpot. So we click on that, resource deal, operation create, deal stage, name, or ID. So these are all the deal stages that I have in the CRM. And let me show you a blank CRM. So as you can see, this is the butt naked CRM that we're going to use for testing. We have an unqualified pipeline, an applied pipeline, high intent, call booked, follow up, closed. Super simple. Going back over to Superfy CRM, we have the same thing over here. It's an applied. The pipeline name is test, and we do the same thing. We drag and drop over like the deal name. So we'll just do it by email. We'll have it set up by email. And then right here, this is important. Deal ID is important because when you do find contact, if you don't do it, it doesn't give you the ID of the contact. So it's very important that we have the ID so we can be able to update it. I tried doing it with email. It doesn't work. I don't know. I don't honestly know. This is what's working. So just do this one. It's super simple without any coding or any of that other bullshit because I don't even know how to code, bro. We go through here. We drag and drop. That'll be here. The top of the ID will be here. What will happen is when we test it, it'll go through. Once this goes green, it'll update in the CRM. We'll just give it a second. And once the workflow finishes executing, we'll check the CRM. We'll refresh it. And then, boom. As you can see, it'll update inside of here. Cool. Now, we are 80% done. So now what we're going to do is, this says if, but the way you actually find it is it's actually if here in the search bar. And then once you go through, make sure it looks like this, contains hot or contains warm. And then what we do is we need the lead scoring data for it. What you'll do is you'll scroll down, you'll find it. Just make sure you're just looking here for it. It'll say AI agent pretty soon, fairly soon. And then you'll be able to drag and drop it in here. So here, what we do is you just drag and drop it into both. Cool. I'll just go ahead and test it and let it run real quick. And then what it'll do is true, since it is hot. And now we're doing this again. We're updating the contact again. And this is how we're getting it to move over. So like I said, and the way this CRM works is if a lead is hot, we're doing it by ID, of course. But if a lead is hot, we move it into high intent. So now what will happen is it'll go through here. We'll probably just have to give it a refresh. Boom, just moves over by itself. Cool. Moves over into high intent. Now we're rolling. Now we're getting active. Now we get the email AI agent. Now we're going to take that one. Oh, hell no, I didn't want to bring this. Okay, no, wait. It just, sorry, the font just looked weird. Cool. Now we have it prompted. And prompting is super easy. Like I keep telling everyone, like you can honestly prompt shit in ChatGPT, bro. Like, tell ChatGPT what you want. Tell it it's for AI agent, and you need to prompt it. And then you can prompt it like that. That's literally what I do. And it's been working wonders. Now, once we go over, we just want to make sure that we have all that set up here. Email writing agent. And this is for the one to book a call. So just make sure you can just be like, also CTA my Calendly so they can book a call. I'm not gonna leak my link. Like you can just be like the link we're sending them is, and then you put the link right there. Super simple. That's a step. Cool. And once it does that, it'll print you out a email. And now, of course, we just need to be able to send the email, of course. Send. Cool. And then what we do here. Okay, brother, forgive me for this, guys. Like I said, I just like it to be clean, so we can scroll down all the way. And I told you it was going to be like a pain in the ass in 2 minutes. We can scroll down all the way and paste it in. And then we can just have it to, you can create your own subject line, honestly, here. And then scroll all the way back up. And then when you're scrolled all the way back up, you just make sure you go ahead and you can paste this down there. What it'll do is it'll send off the email. and then you'll book a call. And then what I do is, as always, I just update it with Slack. Like I said, this is a preference for you guys as well. Let that execute and then have that set up. So now let me click through it. There we go. And then we can just drag and drop that score from the AI agent over into it. All right, cool. Now once that is done, now we have it set up to where it'll go off and start sending and booking calls by itself and updating it by itself. What it'll look like if it's not is we have it set up like this. And guys, it's the same thing. It's honestly, I'm gonna leave it to your preference to be able to figure out like how you want to do the email sequence. I'll probably end up putting some email sequences in the email too as well for you guys to see as well. But for example, just for time's sake of this video, what this looks like over here is gonna be the same thing. It'll go over here. Let me just click through this. And I have it set up the same way. Put the ID in here, put it on unqualified, and if a lead is actually unqualified, what it'll do is it'll drag it over to unqualified. Well, for call booked and closed is I have, like, if someone pays on a payment link, it'll move over to close. That's in another automation somewhere else. And then if someone books in a call, I have it. So like they'll book in a call here, but I have another automation set up to where it's a trigger. So if someone books a call, it'll go through, find the lead, since it'll be in here, and it'll move over to call booked. So the whole thing is being automated in full time. There's no one that has to touch it at all. Cool. And just to show you guys, first, if you guys want to be able to sell this to someone, bro, type it in a ChatGPT. I already know what ChatGPT is going to say. It's going to be like, oh, it needs you need to sell it to solopreneurs, or honestly, you just need to sell it to anyone that has a ton of leads, because I know for a fact they're not managing the leads. I have been a part of so many businesses that have this problem. That's why I created this for myself and then other businesses. Let's ask ChatGPT. Cool. So we'll go over here. We'll literally ask it a question, and it's going to say the same thing. Solopreneurs, anyone that's super busy. It'll say anyone that's selling high ticket, coaches and consultant. A lot of these people are honestly content creators nowadays. Boutique like marketing agencies, web design agencies, anyone that deals with a lot of clients and they want to set up something. Real estate agents is a big one too as well. I personally have sold it over into here. A lot of high ticket coaches and B2B consultants, but there's a lot of opportunity to sell it to other niches too as well. And it doesn't just have to be this. And you already have it here. In the resources, I'll also put in a copy and paste workflow that you guys can paste. And of course, if you guys need help and want to work with me one-on-one to help you build unique agents and sell agents too as well, I can help you with that too. But until then, take care. Thank you for watching this video. Peace. Yo, what's up? In this video, I'm going to show you guys how you can create n8n agents, like support agents that literally do everything for you without needing to hire any support reps or any VAs, and doing all of the repetitive work. Put it in your business or sell it to other businesses for at least $1,000 plus or more. So the whole video, I'll show you the whole walkthrough and then who you can sell these agents to at the end. So let's jump right into it. All right, cool. So what we're looking at here, I don't want you guys to get too overwhelmed or confused. We're gonna walk through literally everything and then pretty much build one ourselves towards the end. And then also I'm gonna show you guys how to sell it too as well. I'll give a brief overview. So what we're looking at here is something that's going to fully automate the whole entire support process. And I have it set up like this because this is what's running right now in my business, and it's what's running in other clients' business as well. So a quick breakdown of everything that's going on. What we have here is it's going through a Typeform trigger. And the reason why is just like in the business, we use a lot of Typeform. I use a lot of Typeform. My clients use a lot of Typeform. Anytime like a client's going through something, they need help. So what that will look like is, of course, we have the Typeform trigger on a support form here. After that, it'll go to an AI agent that will then qualify them to see exactly what it is. And then we have this intent switch over here that will separate them. And then it'll split into if it's like a billing issue, if it's like an actual support issue, or if it's a sales issue, then it goes over to the sales team. Or if it's just like spam or something that we don't care about, we just forward it over to general. That is a simple breakdown of how it works. But what we're gonna do is walk through it one by one. As you can see here, like over here through the support AI agent, as soon as this comes through, it's already going to be pushed through, and something's going to automatically reach out to it via email, because it's going to bring the message, send the email over here, forward the email to us. And then I like to keep everything in Slack as well, to where we can be able to see everything. Like I can be away in the gym or doing something, or the clients could be away and they can still see that the notifications are in the phone, so they know that it's being taken care of while we're focusing on more important things. So let's jump through the Typeform so we can go through how this works. So we'll go over here and we'll test the Typeform workflow here. We'll go over to the support form, and this is what a lot of leads will be seeing. Let's just say what they're inquiring about. We're going through and working like a client. I need help with the billing issue. This is what it looks like from their perspective. And let's just say, I need to change my card on file. Really common thing. When they submit it, but something's working in the background, and that's our automated agent. Now look at this. See, what you just saw was, before we could even click back over, the whole process just shot over and got automated. That's how fast these things work, and that's how valuable it is. Before they could even submit it and check their phone, by the time they check their phone, their problem has already been solved or is already being solved. And let me break it down step by step what happened here. So what happened here, it took all the information, and then after it took all the information and went on to the first AI agent. And what the AI agent right here is trained to is to be able to know what exactly we're dealing with and how to split it up. We have it set up to where it's like, either take all of these responses over here and then let us know if it's a support request, a billing query, a sales lead, or spam. Do not explain or justify, just figure out what it is. And what it was is, I need help with the billing issue is what we put in, and then we left the explanation, and it said I need to change my card on file. The AI agent went through it and found out that it was a billing query. So there's no need for anyone to be hiring a support team to go through and filter through everything, or you to go through and filter through everything, when something like this can just do it for you. And it gets more insane than this. Just keep watching through. Watch this. So after it already automatically automates everything and lets it know that's a billing query, we then go over here. It segments it over here because we have different things trained for different things to make sure it's running smoothly. After it goes to the billing AI agent, check this out. This AI agent is now trained. It's a helpful billing assistant with warm, persuasive tone. A user just canceled their subscription. Your job is to, and then of course you can switch this. Like you don't need anything too specific. Like you can switch this if it's not coming out. Like the user has a problem with their subscription, and it'll give you different responses. And like check this out. It'll give you a different response. Cool. Thank you so much. We truly appreciate you. Like whatever you want it to be, you can prompt it however you want. And then going through it, after it cooks you up, because what this is doing is now we have it cooking us up an email. We have it cook us up the email. This will automatically now send the email over. So we have this set up to where it's like 2. All you have to do is drag and drop these in here, and we're going to do it together while we make it. But it's going to go ahead and send off an email to this person's email. After it does that, it forwards it to our email to know that we got a new support ticket, right? Because when they fill out this type form, all this is happening simultaneously. So now this will forward it over to our email, letting us know that we have a new support ticket. And then what happens is I like to run everything through Slack because I can have like a lot of my clients in there, and I can organize it as well. And I don't really want it to be sent to my number or a Telegram. So I have it sent through Slack, and what it looks like is it just sends the notification through Slack as well, so we know it's being handled. Let's jump over to Slack and look at it. And as we can see here, a billing query from Kyle. What are you inquiring about? I need to change my card on file, and it's letting me know that it's already been automated with the n8n workflow, so I have nothing to worry about. Can literally be on the beach and something is already automated and it's being taken care of. And that's the beauty of these things. So now jumping back over, it'll do the same thing. Like let's say if it's like actual support, we'll go through the type form again and we'll run the trigger. So going through, let's just say we're another type of lead. What are we inquiring about? I'd love to talk to someone on your team. Cool. And then after that, can you please leave an explanation? Let's just say I can't access the client portal. We submit that. And then if you go over, you'll see it's been automated already. Someone has already taken care of it in the matter of seconds. And what we'll do is we'll break it down. So we'll go through Typeform. We'll see it's okay. I'd love to talk to someone on your team. I can't access the client portal. The AI agent goes through and it gets it right. This is a support request and not a billing issue, not a sales or not spam. It's an actual support request. Gets switched over, goes to the right one, goes up here to support request, goes to the next support AI agent that we have prompted here. Hi, Test 2, thanks for reaching out. I understand you're having trouble accessing the client portal. We have it prompted over here with everything that's needed. Then this email that it cooked up over here, the AI agent, which is taking a place of a VA or a support agent that we're usually paying for. We then go over here and we send off the email. After the email is sent off, we forward it to our support channel via email, and then it gets sent over to the Slack. Literally, it's cooking without us even touching anything. We're not touching anything. I'm telling you, this is hands off. Anything support with clients, bro, we're not touching it because we have this sorting everything out. We're not touching it. And I can go back over to the CBL support and show you guys in the Slack channel as well. And there you go. Look, support request from Test 2. I'd love to talk to someone on the team. Can't access the client portal. Super easy, super easy. And you see how valuable this is. You can sell this to businesses that aren't doing this. For it, even if you want to lowball yourself, or even at least $1,000, and they will literally pay for it, because that's literally going to cover the payroll that they're spending on a huge, massive support team that would have to run this, right? Usually, a lot of businesses are running a support team of 3-4 people. This doesn't need a bunch of people. You need one person to watch it, which could be you, and you can literally sell it to another business. But let's go ahead and jump into how we're actually making something like this. And before we do, everything stays the same. Same thing. If it goes through here and it picks up that it's a sales lead, right? This is for support, so we're gonna keep it simple, but we forward it over to the sales team, and the sales team will take care of it. Or if it's spam, and then they're they're trying to pitch the business something like this, we'll just go through and we'll forward it through general, right? And then if someone in general, like the CEO or me or you, whoever is going through and they're reading through it, they're like, okay, yeah, this is dope, this is not. But that is how they work. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into building one. I'm gonna walk you guys through and literally just build one line by line in an OBS way. So check this out. All right, so now going in and building it, it's actually super simple, and it's not as complicated as it looks. Once you guys can start banging these out, next thing is just selling a bunch of them, honestly, or putting them into your business and not doing anything, like me. Anyways, so jumping through it, like I said, I like to use Typeform. You can use other things, but for the sake of this video, I don't want to make this video super long, so we're going to use Typeform, and we're not going to overcomplicate everything. So here, all you need to do is start it with a Typeform trigger. And in the Typeform trigger, I'm going to move myself over here. In the Typeform trigger, Typeform is actually super easy. All you have to do is set up the Typeform account here. And when you set up the Typeform account, you just click this pencil, connect the Typeform account in there, but then just run the actual form that you're using. Now that we have the actual form that we're using, the next big thing is to have a AI agent connected. And there's a lot of things with AI agents. So when you go over here and you go to Advanced AI, right? You go over to Advanced AI, there's going to be a bunch of different things in here. Some people use this, some people use this. Just stick with me. I'm not an AI nerd, so I just do the simple stuff that works. I don't care about how complicated it looks or how many steps it is, because honestly, the best things are a low amount of steps. Anyways, who wants to take a ton of steps? That's why we take elevators and not stairs. So with the AI agent here, we just grab the AI agent. We have it as a tools agent, that's fine. And then we have it on define below. So this way we can prompt it, because prompting it, we're able to train it how we want it to respond to everything. So we just go ahead and we prompt it. After we go through that, what we need to do is have a chat model. And what the chat model is the AI agent, prompting it gives it its brain, but it needs an engine to actually run. And that's what the chat model is. It's connecting an engine up to the brain. connecting the engine to the steering wheel, right? So what we then do is over with the chat model. The reason why this is an error is because it doesn't have a prompt and it doesn't have a chat model. What a lot of people do is, I'll use Claude, but for the sake of this video, I wanted to make, a freer option where you guys, because Claude is like, it's $5 plus like how much credits you use. So is OpenAI. So one thing I like to use is OpenRouter. And right here, I'm gonna show you guys the back door of all back doors. So this is one you can use completely for free. And all you have to do is go over to OpenRouter. We're gonna jump over there now. All you have to do is just type in OpenRouter in your browser. All right, once you type in OpenRouter, it's gonna take you over here. All you need to do, create an account, super simple. Go over to models. Like this is the, like I'm showing you guys like this, the back road of all back roads. Nothing inside but just you and some free AI keys. So a lot of these are there, and they come out with new ones all the time. Like I don't even know what Moonshot is, honestly. Moonshot, that shit sounds dope though. But this is one that I've been using right here. This one used to be the newest one, like literally like 3 days ago. So as you can see, $0 a month for input tokens, $0 a month for output tokens. All I do is I go over here, you click this, none of this matters. All you need to do is go over to API and then tap create API key. It'll give you a key you can copy and paste. Don't share this key with anyone. That's why I'm not sharing it with you. It's like your personal, treat this like a social security number for all means. Just don't share this key with anyone. So you just take this key, copy it, and bring it over into here. And then what that'll look like is you just tap on this pencil and you just paste that key into there. See, n8n is even looking out for me. They're trying to block off the key so no one can get it because it's like your super secret key. After you have that set up, it's all about prompting the AI agent now. So we're going through. What you can of course do is you can copy my prompt here and just paste this one in here. To put on expression. And then the reason why these are gray is because, like I said, this is data. So we're gonna switch this. That's the reason why this is gray and this one is green. This one's not gonna be valid if you copy this because of course you have to pull the data from the specific trigger. Another thing, I don't wanna leave you guys hanging though, because you're not always gonna have me to have a prompt. Let me show you a way you can get prompts. So running over to ChatGPT, super simple, just tell it, or you can tell anyone, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever, Gronk, whatever. Just say, I need a prompt for my AI agent that reads through support form submissions or whatever you're looking for. Given the user's message, reply only with one of these following intent labels. Whatever you're doing, like even after, I want you guys to be able to do this and like plug it in yourself. So with this, all you do is you send it off. So with this, all you do is you send it off and it'll start cooking up a message for you. And you can just take this prompt and you just paste it into the AI agent. That's literally all you do. You just copy this prompt and you paste into the AI agent. That's what I do for a lot of my prompts, honestly. And then you just go in and you tweak it because everything's not gonna be perfect. You go in and you tweak it until it's consistent and you got it dialed in and running. So jumping back over here, after you have that set up, the next thing is setting up the intent switch. But before that, let's get some data through here. So we'll go through the type form and we'll give it some data. So let's test this workflow. We'll just do another billing issue one, for example. I need to update my card because we just need to send it some data. And then let's see if it goes ahead. And then look, cool. It's trying to already run without us and it's not completely set up. But as you can see, picked up the data that we get through. So now we can start plugging and playing all of this stuff in here. So we have the AI agent, support request, name, cool. And now we have all this set up. Remember guys, we're taking this and we're copy and pasting it. So what it'll look like is you just set it up, name, email, what they're inquiring about, and the detailed explanation. And we're just, let me just space this out. Just take this up, just take this, just paste it in. So it has the data to read. And then after you do this, you don't have to touch it ever again because it'll always update the response of the data inside of these fields. Cool. Now we have that. It reads through it. Correct. Now we have this right. We have it set up as the billing query. Cool. Now a big thing that we're doing is we are connecting a switch, which is the same switch as this. Remember, needs to be set up with rules and have it set up as string. And then we're putting each one in. It's like equal support request output 0, equal billing query output 1, equal sales lead output 2, operation equal spam output 3. So we're doing the same thing over here. We're going over here and we're putting it on switch. Cool. Remember, rules, and then we're moving it over to string, and then we're putting everything in here. And now once you have this looking identical to this, big thing you need to do is in the value, make sure you drag and drop this into here so it can pick up everything. So now we'll go and we'll test it. And then let's see. It went into output 1, which is billing query, and output 1 is billing query. So now we are successfully segmenting everything. We're successfully segmenting everything. Let me just drag this down a little bit so we don't cluster everything up, and we'll move this over. But that's not what we wanted. But as you can see, now what we then do is we set up another AI agent. Because now what we have is now it's collecting information. Now it's filtering the information successfully. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over and create another AI agent. Same thing, guys. Go here, go over to the AI agent, and then define below is what we want to do. We want to have a prompt. And then once we're defining it below, we're connecting up that engine to let it run. And as I told you guys, open router is a good one to do. That'll go through and get connected. And what we'll do is I already told you guys how to make prompts. So what we'll do is we'll just copy and paste this whole entire prompt. And of course, we're going to switch them. You're not going to have the name Kyle and everything. So we'll make sure we're just changing all of that stuff. Unless you guys want to pay for some automations. So check that out. We're just going to paste that in. Helpful billing assistant. That's good to go. We'll run it. And cool. Hi. No, we're going to switch that. See? So that's why it's good to check them a bit. We'll go over to expression and figure out why I did that. And see, the reason why I did that is because these queries aren't the same. So it's not going to print out the same thing. So we need to switch them. We need to switch these fields. The reason why is, remember, hi, it says type form trigger, so of course it's going to push that out. It's always good to go through, and it's good that we're checking through all this stuff together. Because I know sometimes with this, it's like testing and making sure it's right. But once you have it dialed in and once it's fixed, you practically never have to touch it again. You never have to touch it again. Also, the user's name is this, and then this is a response that they left. I just plug both of these in here. And then now let's check. Test it again. Let's just give it a second. Hi, Kyle. Thanks so much for being with us. Yep. And then there you go. There it's fixed. So remember, these fields are super important to have it dialed in. Now, since we have the AI agent writing us the email, we're now going to send off an email. And I like to use Gmail. The other email one is like weird to me, so I like to use the email one. And then over here, you connect your Gmail account. Simply just log in. You don't need to copy and paste anything. You just log in with Google. You just have this set up to resource message, send, obviously, and then 2, you just drag and drop this in here. I create my own subject line because what I realize is a lot of times the AI will make its own, subject line, and then it's like in the message, and there's no way to fix that. So what I do is create my own subject line, and you can literally just create anything you want, honestly, here. Paste this into the message. This is the most important thing. The subject line can be like, you just drag the lead's name. Support request. Boom, and this is literally it. Send it off. It'll send the email. Just waiting for it in a second. It'll send it. Sometimes it takes forever. There we go. Went ahead and sent. And then after that, and I like to prompt them as well. Like, not prompt them, but rename it. To know like which one is actually doing it so you don't get confused. And then I have this one. I have another Gmail one that we then send a message, but we send it to ourselves, right? And then what you can do is you can just put in the business email. And this is all preference, but I just like to do it. And then you can literally drag and drop like all the lead information in here, just like we have over here. New support ticket received, and then you have all of that stuff over in here. Message, new support ticket received. And of course this one is going to be red because of what we mentioned. So you can just have name, email, what are you inquiring about, and further explanation. And then we're gonna drag and drop everything here. All right, we're not leaving no stone unturned. Add the email right here, put the name right there, and we're good. Yeah, we're good. We'll test the step, and then we'll go ahead and send it off. The next one that we're doing is Slack. And like I said, this is preference, but I just like being notified. And then so in Slack, there's a bunch of stuff. So just go to send a message. And then you connect the Slack account, take the pencil, connect it via email, resource, message, operation send message to. You can send it to yourself, but I like to send it to a channel because there's people in the channel. And then in here, just have it as, where is it? Support, simple text message. You do the one, and then the message text is literally copy and paste of this one. You can just take this one, new support ticket, or new billing ticket, or whatever you want to do. It's honestly preference or your client's preference. But you can then take it, have it in here, and then you can just have it set up to where it's like, okay, billing query. And then you get the gist. Just drag and drop everything in here. Oh, and when that's done, literally you test the step, and it'll wait for it to execute. And then boom, it'll go ahead and be sent over to Slack. So look, there we go. Like, you're literally an AI genius now. You've literally have done it. And then it's the same thing over on these ends. Like, if it's something that's being forwarded to sales, literally all I have is I get the email sent to myself, and then I send it in the sales team Slack channel where the sales team will go and handle that. Because like I said, this is more so for support. And another one that we can do in the intent switch is, let me move this over here. We'll space out a little bit. But same thing. If it's not important, I just forward it to the main email. We don't care about it. It won't move to the rest of the automation. But for the support agent, literally just create another AI agent up here. You already know what to do. Define below. The prompt we're using for this is this one. I'll let you guys look at it for a second. Boom, I'll take it. And you guys know if you guys need one, you can just put it in here. We use Open Router. And we just feed it the prompt. And it's the same thing. You feed it the prompt. You would, of course, have to run data back through here. But you feed it the prompt, and then you give it the same, send it through the email, go through Gmail, go through Slack. And don't worry, I'll be able to give you guys let me move this out of the way. I'll be able to give you guys this whole entire workflow here that you guys can copy and paste into, and then you can just tweak up a little bit too as well. So that is essentially the support agents. Now what we'll do is, I kind of already explained it in another video, but we'll go through how you can actually go about selling these agents and like who's actually buying it. So we'll go through just like a quick rundown of like who would actually buy something like this. So I go over pretty much all of this in the how to actually sell AI agents video, but I'm just gonna break down the little grid I put together of people that are like buying shit like this. So you don't want to be caught like selling AI agents to the wrong crowd. Like obviously if you're talking about AI agents and you're trying to sell it to a bunch of people in a retirement home, good luck with that, brother. You're going to be trying to sell your ass off. No one's buying that shit. They want fucking feet massagers in there, cuz they don't need that. But the type of Bowery type is the two biggest ones in this video that we just went over is honestly digital service providers and lean startups and SaaS founders, especially these guys over here. Like I would say number one and then number two, and then this is number three, because a lot of local services, like they're not super support heavy. They're outside, fulfilling, they don't really have too much of a support issue. But these like all only online businesses, let me tell you something about startups and SaaS founders. They care so much about their churn, and from one of the best ways to lower churn, bro, is product. Yes, product. You're probably not doing product though. So the way you can help is a fire support team, like a fire support team, fire systems set up so they can like reduce their churn. And these agents that I just showed you will literally go in and help their churn. Literally. You don't understand how much SaaS founders and startups need that. So they're number one to go after. Now, after that, number two, like digital service providers, you definitely want to go for them, like content creators and agency owners. They need support a lot, especially for the ones that are like scaling up, or like those big low ticket products too as well. They care a lot about churn as well, because they're selling, their communities and everything, and that's like $50 a month, but they don't want people to churn off. Like who wants people to stop paying them, So selling them those support agents will work too as well. You need to be able to go and sell it and present it, because these two will 100% understand what you're talking about. They just don't have time to go in and learn AI agents. It takes a while to learn them, you know what I mean? So especially with all the information out there, it takes a while. So you want to be able to go in and sell these AI agents. What I'll also do is I'll plug in the closing script that you guys can use as well, that I explained in the other video. But until then, I really appreciate you guys for watching through this whole video. If you guys need more help, I have a bunch of resources in the description. Also as well, if you guys want more one-on-one access to me, you guys can click a link below and fill out an application, and then we could see what's going on there. But until then, I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace. All right, this is going to be a good one. What we're looking at right here is actually a AI agent that goes through and reads through data. And the cool thing about this whole entire agent here is when it goes through and reads through data, every single business that makes money, I shit you not, runs on data. It literally does. It runs on data. Data is one of the most important things in business as well, because you can't make decisions if you don't have the right data. And what I have set up here is something that I have set up for other clients, something I have set up for myself, and I'm going to walk you guys through it and show you guys how it pretty much works with setting up an agent that manages data for businesses. So what we have here is, it's super simple. Like by now you guys are starting to pick up and grasp the concept of these, but I have a scheduled trigger that over here every day at 9 a.m. what it'll do is it'll go through and it'll read through this Google Sheet, and the Google Sheet will have data on it. Let me show you what the Google Sheet looks like. 1 second. So it'll pretty much look like this. Of course, it'll look more than data, but we're just using test data. But right here, this is how we're doing it. This is how I have it set up for one client. Right here, as you can see, we have 105 scheduled calls, 80 live calls, a 76% show rate. Clean that up a bit. 61 offers, a 74% offer percentage, 57 closes, 84% offer commitment, 79% call close percentage, 64% call commitment, 60% call close, total collected 131,000 with total revenue being $159,000 as well. But moving back into it just to show you, and we'll go and explain all these numbers. I just want to show you guys how the workflow works first. But going through here, what that happens is we have this code node set up here to go through and filter out rows. But once it goes through and it filters out rows, what it then does is it takes this data and it actually analyzes it. So let's go ahead and work it through here, and I'll show you guys what it's looking like after. So it's just, we'll let it run through really quickly. And we're good to go. Let's take a look into it. Cool. So this one says urgently fixed. We have a prompt set up down here with us moving over information into everything here, as we can see. With that being said, it's of course going to print you out a message, and it's super in depth with everything. We'll go through what it explains, but like I keep telling you guys, it's all about the prompting. As you can see, what comes up is it's an urgent fix. And the reason why I have it coming up with urgent fix is simply just because I move everything over into here, and based on the output, if it's urgently fixed or solid stats, it will go in a specific direction. So if it's urgent, this is kind of what I have, and this is what a client wanted as well. That charge that I paid for this, what you can see here, that paid for this, what you can see here is it's your team lead based on this constraint report draft short, constraint report, and that's what it looks like. And I'll show you guys what it looks like over here for a second. Once we have that, it'll come up with a certain response. And let's go ahead and just move this through so we can keep going as well. So it comes up here. What it'll do is analyze the data up here. Go through like this. Cool. Node executed successfully. Urgent. We need to meet ASAP. Address. Show and offer rates is impacting overall performance. Booking a call now. Be ready. So I get this and I send it over to Slack in a sales team chat, and I just let them know. So you got to think about it like in the Slack chat, when we send it over, it'll just look like something like this. And of course, I just want to show you guys examples. And then boom, what it'll look like in the sales team chat is they'll get a message saying here, urgent, we need to meet ASAP, address the following, show and offer rates is impacting overall performance, and then automated with this n8n workflow. So you can even see that I have it automated over here. Moving back over into the agent. Now that they got the Slack notification, you have to just think about it. Everyone on the team, if there's something like, there's like a code red, right? Think of like a fire alarm is going off and it's like code red, everybody get your fucking shit together, right? They're going to get the message, they're going to know. And then as you can see over here, I have a actual quite literal, I'm proud of it if I don't say so myself, a code red AI agent. And what that does is it takes the input here, and then it can, and then right here, this will be left blank for you guys, because join here it's the specific Zoom link of like any Zoom link that you guys are going to schedule out. So if you guys have one set Zoom link that everyone can join, you can have that set here. The reason why I just have it blank is just obviously can't put the client's Zoom link in this video, but that is what you have there. So you can then do this. Wait for it to punch out a response. After it punches out a response, it'll have a full email. Hey team, we've identified the critical restraint, right? And then going over into here, you're now able to drag and drop the message in here. And then of course you can pick and choose who you want to send it to. I just have my email there as a placeholder so it can run through. And then you can have the subject line as something like urgent team meeting, anything in terms of that. That is the first instance of how it's used. Of course, let's run through again. Let me click through here and give it a second. All right, cool. We just had it punch out. As you can see, solid stats, primary constraint. The primary constraint appears to be a combination of show rate and off rate. Both are slightly below the ideal benchmark of 80. The close rate is quite good at 60%, which is well above the 25% threshold I mentioned, offer commitment is also strong. All right, cool. So it's going through the data and it's making decisions for you. So now, like, a big thing in business as well that a lot of people struggle with is they go through and they're like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What could be better? And the worst thing you could ever do in business is make emotional decisions and not data-based or data-backed driven decisions, right? So just think about it. When we're going through, when we're making decisions like that, we want to make sure we're making the right decisions. So after that, what will then happen is it'll punch over into here. And once it does, as you can see, it'll go down because what happened is it picked it up. It's for solid stats. We'll drop it down here in a data report agent. You're a high performance business strategist. Your job is to read a diagnostic report and identify the most important constraint to fix next. So we'll go through and we'll test this. And we'll just go ahead and give it a second. Cool. Based on the diagnostic report, applying first principles thinking, here's the analysis. Key constraint is the show rate, why it matters. And it goes in deep detail of what you need to do. It's pretty hard to fuck something up if you're not doing that right. So it shoots out a real report. Now, after that, we just send the message update. And this can be to the team, to ourselves, anything set up here, however you prefer it. And then what you can then do is your performance code, summarize the following, okay, and then you have the message here. Let's go ahead and get this output, and let's see. Cool, and now the message that's gonna be sent, like if you want a simple message to send your team, send yourself, every morning imagine being able to wake up, and now it's a priority fix the show rate. And now you know what to just go in and dial in on. A lot of people in business, bro, everyone's smart. You just need to know what exactly to work on. The biggest thing is just working on the wrong thing for too long. And then that's the biggest problem. Cool. So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll just build it out together because that's just what we do. We go through and we build it out together. So let's jump into it. So the first thing we're going to need is a trigger. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and we are going to add another trigger. And the one that we're doing is schedule. Of course, and you guys know there can be one where you can do the chat message or you can trigger manually. But honestly, I just like to have it automated. I don't want to have to come into here and then, play around and set some things up. So we'll jump that one over here, and then I'll just move this over here to just give us some extra room so we can put this right under. But after we have that set up, just make sure when you come over here, you just have it set up to days. When you have it set up to days, you have different options though, like custom, months, weeks. If you want to do it every week, I know I have one client that does it every week where it's just set up to where it's like a weekly recap. Like on Sunday, sends it off. So Monday we know exactly what to attack, right? Total preference, but we'll just set it up exactly. We'll have a days between triggers, and then let's do 10 a.m. Let's do 10 a.m. Cool. So we'll go through there. Then next thing we'll need is a Google Sheet. And over on the Google Sheet, what it needs to look like is kind of like this. Make sure you just have data set up like actual data. I got Slack notifications going off haywire right now. But make sure you have actual data that you can work with here. Of course, this is just dummy data, but any data in like any business for you to showcase them and show them. Like, for example, side note, great way to be able to sell someone on the agent. Show them a demo, bro. Show them you know what you're talking about. Show them a demo. And the demo takes like 10 seconds. Most people don't show that, and that's how you're going to get your advantage. You know what I mean? So just make sure to go ahead and show a demo. But now going through it, now we're going over, we're going to grab a Google Sheet and go over here. We go through here, Google Sheet. All right, and once we go over to the Google Sheet, what we can then do is we can have it set up to where it is in append row or update sheet. Let's see. Okay, cool. All right, and now once we go over to the cool. So now when we're going over here, what we'll do is just make sure we go through test data sheet. Don't want all the other Google Sheets I'm using for bunch of clients. And make sure you have this set up here with the Google account, that you sign in with your Gmail account, resources and sheet with document so you can be precise. Append or update row. Just make sure, just take a second to just make sure yours looks like mine. And then we're going to do map each column manually. We're going to press this so we can actually extract data. Just pull the data right from it. See, extract the data. We'll give it a second. 1 second. See, now we got to go through and fix it real quick. Okay, I got it. So what we actually need to do is actually switch this to get rows. And now we're good to go. Test data sheet 1. And see, that's the thing. It's all about troubleshooting and coming through and just figuring it all out together. Because that's what it's going to look like. Every time you go through and you make an automation, you're going to get these errors, you're going to get these problems, and it's about continuously doing it until you find the thing that works, right? Because I know you guys are going to come up into problems. I do all the time. But all that matters is at the end result of what you have. The end result of what you have, you never have to change it again, and it's going to work. And that's the beauty in it, honestly. Like, that's my favorite part about it. Next thing is we just need a code node. I just put it in, run code. And this is just formatting. And the reason why we have this here, you don't need it now. But, for example, I just want to make sure you guys are left in good hands. Like, if there's a client that has multiple rows of data, you want to use that code node for sure. You want to be able to use that code node for sure. Because if they have multiple strings of data, you're going to want to be able to single out all of those. So make sure you have that node. You want to go over here real quick. Click through here and just copy and paste this. Honestly, we'll just drag that over here, put that in here, paste it. Right? And we'll just make sure it is the same. Just make sure it's identical. Cool. And if we have that done, now what we do is we just run over to Advanced AI so we can make a dope AI agent. Tools agent is fine. Then you just move that over to define below, and it's all about prompting. And then as well, I keep telling you guys, if you don't have Claude, Open Router, and the way you get Open Router is you just go through here, drag it all the way down, and then just pick a free one, and then you'll be good to go on Open Router. But back over onto here, once you have, let me just knock that off real quick. I don't need it. Cool. There we go. And now here, let's go. Let me make sure I'm not getting too into it and make sure you guys are following along. What we want to do is, this is the prompt that I use. You can go through and copy this. You're a business consulting specializing in diagnosing sales constraints using raw sales data. Given this input: show rate, offer rate, close rate, offer commitment. Use the following rules: if show rate's 80%, if offer rate's 80%, if close rate for setters diagnosed, then give primary constraint. So you get the point. You get the point. This is all prompted the right way. But like I said, this prompt is not going to work for everyone's business. So what you want to do is just make sure you understand, like, you talk to them and figure out like what are like constraints and how they fix constraints, and you just hop on a call and even plug it up onto the call and then make AI analyze the call transcripts. But you just want to make sure you have the right agent to be able to fix these types of transcripts, and you have the right AI agent that can really come in and be able to answer, like, look at the data and be able to just be like, okay, cool, this is what needs to be done. That's all. And then going over into ChatGPT, it should just look like this when you're prompting it. And when we're prompting it, it's like, hey, I'm prompting an AI agent. I need to have a prompt that takes in data. And like, for example, let's say we're doing something for like a e-commerce business, right? Like an e-commerce business. Takes in data for e-com for business. Please help me out here. Give me important metrics to track first. And then we'll just wait for this response. Here's some core revenue. Cool. So now we'll just take this. We'll run down, copy it. Like I said, we're just doing an example. I just want to show you guys how you can really prompt these. Okay. Yes. Now turn this into a prompt. Just be like, yes. Now turn this into a prompt. Prompt that will to read data daily. Give me an output. And give me an output. But what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the output tells us just like this one over here. Or it's like, then give me, and then you can just take this from me. Also, something urgently wrong, you say urgently fixed. If something is okay or just can be done better, put solid stats. And you can just take that one out of my book, or you can prompt it however else, and then just be like, boom. And then let's see what it says. All right, and now that we have this set up, what we just do is you'll see that it'll have the prompt here. And then, like, of course, you know, ChatGPT sometimes will be inconsistent. Give me an actual prompt. Give to a response. Cool. Now let's see what we get. All right, boom. There we go. Now we actually have something that we can actually paste in. But going back, so now you know how to really set and prompt those up. What we then do is we go over to an if. And what that looks like is you just come over here. If. A lot of people get this mixed up between if and switch, but just do if. Just trust it just works much better. And then what you need to do is just make sure string and then move it over to contains. And then also come here, add a condition to that bitch, and then go or. Cool. And then remember, keep your eye on it. It's like it's super easy to not pay attention to the detail. And then we'll do contains as well. And then what we're doing is we're just taking this because it should be saying urgently fix. And then we could take this one and then we could just paste it in here. Where it says we can't take this, of course. So what that'll look like is we'll actually run the test data and see what we got going on here. Let's see. Gotta give it a second. Cool. And then before we even do that, like over here, as you can see, the AI agent is now printing out the same exact thing that we needed it for. And see, it's the same thing as well. Like now you guys are literally pretty much 80% of the way there, honestly. Now you already have an AI agent that's reading data. So now let's really get this shit dialed in. So moving down here, so false, we have it on solid stats. So solid stats, we have it on false. What we then do is we just add another AI agent here. Boom. And then let me give it some room over here. 1 sec. Just drag this down a little bit so things don't get too clogged up and it looks ugly on the screen. All right, cool. Now we'll go over drop that in there. Once that's dropped in there, what we can then do is make sure that this is the same as this. So we come in over here. Yep, high performance business strategy. Same thing. And you guys know how to prompt these. Like I showed you, we know how to prompt them. So there's no need to go through that. We'll go through here, pop this one in here, make sure we move this to define below. See this small little thing over here, we're going to click this for expression, and then we're going to drop that in there. After we drop that in there, what we then do is, cool, this is already, but just to make sure, like even if it pops up green, just to make sure, just always put your own in there. And then we'll just do the most recent data that we have. Cool, we'll go ahead and test it. Perfect. Based on the diagnosis report, using the first principles thinking, here are my analysis, key constraint, show rate. Perfect. Great, now it's reading the data correctly. And then now what we're doing is we're creating another AI agent to just portray a more simple message. What you can also do is you can easily like take a Slack or an email or whatever way you like to message yourself, and then have it set up to where it's giving you the in-depth version, and then it's just giving your team. And I'll show you what that looks like. Like, we'll just build the regular one first, and then I'll show you what it looks like. But what that will look like now is we're setting up another AI agent to go through. Same thing, define below, expression, and then we're going over here, and then we're going to grab this, boom, copy, move it over here, and then we're going to paste it in. Boom. And then the same thing. What we're dragging over here is it's just going to analyze the newest data that came in. Right? You want it analyzing like it's like a filtration system. Like you want it to just filter out the newest data and deal with the newest data as well. So we'll go ahead and must be connected. So yeah, see, there we go. All the time. Errors are going to happen. But what do? You just go through and you just fix them. Right? Super simple stuff. We'll go through. Look at this. Boom, perfect. Node executed successfully. And it's like, it's super satisfying. Like you update something and it's like, yo, your shit's fucked up, and then you fix it and then it's like, bro, you're low-key him. You know what you're doing. So after that, now, and just drag myself over here. You just like, for example, Slack, if you want to notify yourself with email, however they want to notify themselves, it's fine. Just run over here and you can find it simply in here. Slack, I like to send myself a Slack message. What we can then do is send message. My Slack account is already set up. You just set it up via email. Super easy way to connect it. Resource, message. Make sure you have operation send message to. You can have it sent to a channel, or you can have it sent to a user. So right here, what we're doing is this the way this message is portrayed is better to send to the team. So let me just so you can do like channel if you're sending it to a whole team, and then you could just let me type in, because I have a bunch of chats. Let me type in team. It's glitching on me. Team. Yep, there we go. Sales team chat. Oh brother, there we go. Sales team chat. Simple text message, and then you could just pretty much pop that in there and get that to send. What it'll do is it'll come here and it'll actually send a message, and we can go check Slack right now actually and look. And as you can see in here, what it'll do is it'll send a message in Slack. So super simple. If you want to set it up a different way as well, a way like to just like, for example, like if it's your business or you want to have like a more in-depth thing to the CEO, what you can do is you can add another Slack node in here. And then what it'll look like, let me just detach that, connect this over here. Make sure it's connected. And then boom, watch this. So you'll go over here, Slack account, message, send, channel, move channel to user, and then you can move the user to whatever their name is, and then you can do a simple message. And then over here, what I can do is boom, based on the diagnosis. So now they're getting this more in-depth version, right? And then it works the same way. It doesn't mess with the workflow in any means. It'll work and it'll go through perfectly. We'll just wait for that to load. Yeah, everything will go through perfectly. It doesn't mess with anything because the nodes are set up in a perfect way. Cool. Nearly 90% of the way there. And now what we do is, this is like, for example, like if it's a code red, what I like to call, but it's like when like everything is going terribly wrong and you need to go ahead and fix it. So what that just looks like is I'll just take this, but it's the same thing. Go over here, grab another, actually, let me not cheat. Let me do it with you guys. Go over here, Advanced AI Agent, bump this, define below, add the chat model. Perfect. And then what we do is we just come over here. We can just get this. Cool. Let's move that in here. We're gonna need data to do this. So what I'll do over here with the AI agent, you don't copy this. I'm just gonna say, hey, for just this time I'm testing everything. Please just respond with what are the exact keywords? Urgently fix. Yeah. So, and the reason why we're going to do this is just it's way faster than just switching up all of the data. I'll just drop it here. Give it a second real quick. You don't have to worry about this. Yep, urgently fix. Please don't do that. So I just wanted to be able to go, let me see actually. Oh, we didn't even put the values in here. Gotcha. Come here. Let me see. Value. There we go. See, and that's why it's always good to go through troubleshoot and find everything. Now it'll work. Boom, urgently fixed. Now it'll go through here. I could have swore we put it in there. All right, cool. Now it works. And now what we have is everything set up here. Let me go over, put this on expression. Go through here. As I said, always just delete and just put back just to make sure you have the right thing. And what that'll look like is the agent will have it set up here. And then what we do is we can add it in Slack. Send a message. Send a message to, you can do it to a channel. I just think it's all the way down here. Cool. Simple text message. We'll execute the previous node. It doesn't have any. 1 second. I know how to fix this. Please put urgently fix. Let me see if I just move out just put urgently fix, it'll do it for me. Let's see, because we just need the data. All right, cool. Now we got it. We got the data. Cool. And then we'll just test in here to make sure it can handle it with the data. Yes, it can. We'll go through and do this. No, just give it a second. And let's see what it says. Okay, there we go. Now we can go ahead and send this off. All right, it can be to a channel. First principle syncing. Yep. And then what we can then do, and this channel will actually be to you. Like it'll be to the CEO because the CEO definitely wants to know when their business is burning. So we'll move it back over here. And for example, boom. Then we'll drag and drop this from AI Agent 3. And then what we'll do is I'll send that to myself right here. And then we have the code red agent. Same thing, guys. This is what we're going over here. And we are just flying through this thing. Cool, we're going through like that. And then we're going to take this prompt up here. Boom. And we go through, we take the prompt. We just come here. And then we're going to go over here. We're going to drag that over here. Prompt. Make sure we're at expression. I'm going to open this up. Bam. Just like that. Cool. And that's why we always check. Remember, just take it from Slack, because Slack is the newest data. And we get that there. We can just test a step. Need the chat model again. Now we'll test a step. Move this over here. Boom. Now move it over. Yeah, there we go. Cool. And then now we're going to set up a urgent team meeting by just sending an email to the team. Oh, I typed in send email. First, you gotta type in email. Then you go type in send email. Send a message. And then you can just put in whatever emails it's being sent to. Subject, urgent. Test step. Boom. Yeah, and there we go. That's really how you set that up. I hope, of course, I go back, guys. Like, you can always just go back if I missed anything, but I didn't miss anything. Just go back if you missed anything. But what we need now is just honestly, like, the type of people that you sell this to is anyone that really cares about data. So it'd be any company that's trying to scale or they already have scaled. Not anything like, don't do anything that's like just starting up. It won't work well. But selling to specific people, like anyone that, has been running their business and they're doing at least, I would say, like 20 to 30 grand a month. This is perfect to go ahead and start pitching to them. And I honestly would, because that's what I've done. So find businesses that are doing like 30K a month at least, and then go over and try to pitch them this. Show them the types of things they can do with it. Show them some examples, like send them Loom videos with some examples. Of course, later on in this whole course, we go through that. And later on, we pretty much go super in depth on all that good stuff. But definitely just attack it like that. But as always, let's keep moving on. Yo, what's up? This AI agent I'm about to show you writes emails, headlines, and posts for me. Fully automated, I don't have to touch a single thing. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I built it step by step inside n8n and how I've sold versions of this exact system to clients for 1K and up. Let's jump into it. All right, so jumping right into it, this is the whole entire workflow that I'm currently using. That is pretty much my copywriting army, or whatever you want to call it. Inside of here, you can see that this does everything. It writes me the emails, it writes me the headlines, anything I need for myself and for clients too as well. We're going to dive into how it works, and then even at the end, we're going to dive into how to build it, because I'm going to build it with you guys from scratch, and then I'm going to show you guys how to also sell it too as well at the end. If you guys need any extra help with this, I do have some things in the description you guys can check out, or you can book a call with me to see if I can help you set things up like this or sell things like this too as well. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it, onto how it works. So quickly to show you, what I have it set up here is it goes through and it triggers at 10 a.m. We're going to go ahead and test this workflow though, because obviously it's not 10 a.m. So what it'll do, it'll get some tasks, it'll write out a script here, and as you can see, it'll load, it'll take a second. Then it'll go over through here, it'll proofread it itself, and then it'll go ahead and send me the final copy through Slack here. As you can see, going over into Slack, we have a email here. And that's pretty much what's happening every single morning at 10 a.m. where I'm having emails personally sent to me that I can go ahead and post. And what this is, it's self-learning, it's teaching itself, it's criticizing itself, so I don't have to do it at all. I'm just getting a bunch of fire emails put out or fire headlines put out, whatever I need every single morning. And that is essentially how it works. But going into it, we have this trigger that sets it up at 10 a.m. We have it fetch tasks. So what it does is it goes through this sheet, and I have it set up like this here. It's like I have it set up with the name, the topic, the goal, the tone, and the type of audience I'm talking to. I then go ahead and feed it into this, just in case if I want to do multiple, like if I have multiple clients that I'm working with, because this is set up to sell to different clients or for you to put in your business. This right here is set up like this. So just in case, if you have a bunch of different things on the spreadsheet, like the Google spreadsheet, it won't take a bunch of different data together and then give you like an email that's a complete clusterfuck. Like, you don't want that. So what you want is to be able to split it up so it can have organized information, so that way you can actually have something that you can go through and create, and it can create something smoother and fresh for you. After that, we have Claude set up on the AI agents here, and what we do is we have it set up as a script writer. So we have a prompt set up here, and it's just set up and it's prompted to take everything from all the data from the sheet over here to then make the email. But what a lot of people do wrong, and what I've noticed as well, is a lot of the times you're trying to take one of these script writers and it writes you off the email, but then it's like a lot of times you have to go through and constantly change it over and over and over again. And it's not the best. It doesn't make the most sense. You need to have something fully automated to where you're not touching it. If you have to go back and continue to change and iterate and change and iterate, it's not automated and it's not doing what you want it to do. So what we have set up after this is a agent that will proofread it. And what I mean by that, so after this email comes out, usually someone goes through, they double check, they fact check just to make sure the AI isn't glitching out or being wonky with anything. What we then do after that is we send it to this proofreading agent. And what this does is it acts as if someone is going through, or you would go through, or the business owner would go through, or anyone else would go through, and they would want to go and look at it and see exactly what is wrong with the email, if there's anything wrong with it, or if it's good enough to be passed on. So then what happens is we have it prompted and we have it set up to where it gives us a score 1 out of 10. We don't publish an email, at least it's an 8 out of 10. So what we have set up is it goes over to if, and if it's an 8, 9, or a 10, it gets pushed on. If it's not, if it's for some reason a 7, a 6, I haven't seen the AI give out any like 5s, 4s, 3s, 2s, or 1s, because then that means the prompting is like completely broken. But if it gives out anything lower than an 8, it'll go over here to another editing AI agent and it'll make it a 8, at least an 8, 9, or a 10, and then it'll feed off into the Slack. So this right here is how it works. It's literally going to go through and create you different angles. It creates you different things to be able to send off any emails or headlines or anything you want. And I'm going to show you guys later down this video on how you can literally be able to do this for yourself, and sell this for yourself as well. There's another one we have under here, which is just in case if out of nowhere it's past 10 a.m., you want to do your own or switch it up, you can send it into this chat over here. So let's say even after 10 or whatever you have it scheduled at, you want to go through and be able to create your own or create something else for a friend or another client, just to show an example, for example. We're just putting this through example. You have one set up here that is for a chat message, and you could just do this, like open chat, and then you could prompt a message here. Let's type one out. So cool, what we have here is I need you to write an email to my newsletter where I teach everyone how to get in shape using my carnivore diet, and at the end I want you to sell the click to my school community, or I teach people how to lose weight. Makes more sense. Using my carnivore diet. Cool. And then we'll execute the workflow there. It will take this prompt and then it'll start pushing it through the same sequence we have over here. So just in case, you don't have to go put this in and then wait until tomorrow morning or 10 a.m. for this to execute. And then it's going to go through here. Cool. So walking you through what happened over here, we put it in through the chat. The prompt we put then through the chat, we send it to the first scriptwriter. It writes us out something sent to the email list. It goes through the proofreading agent and it gives us a 7. So what then happens over here is, as I told you guys, if it's not an 8 at least, it's not going to be sent off. What we're going to do is we're going to go through, we're going to edit it, and after it gets edited and it's good to go, then we send it through. So this way you're never going to write a bad email, because even this, there's nothing terribly wrong with this email that got written out, but it's fact checking it and it's going to go through and make it better. So that way, it's completely hands off. You don't have to do anything. And then you can put that prompt in, you get that prompt, and you put in the trigger. But since now we know how it works, what we're going to do is we're going to go through and build our own right on this page. So you guys can go ahead and build one for yourself so you can sell it to other businesses, or build one for your business. All right, let's get to the fun part. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and move these up, but we're going to go into how to actually build it. Don't worry, I'll have something where you guys can do a little copy and paste in inside of the thing so you guys can use it as well. But here, this is what we do. So we go over here to the plus sign over here, and then we're going to set up one of these. We need to be able to come in and schedule it. So schedule interval every day, one, and then we could literally set it up. If you want to do it like 9 a.m., who cares? We have the schedule trigger set up, right? Let me move this down so I can, 1 second. Move that down there. So we have the schedule trigger set up. Now what we do is we go over to Google Sheets. You don't need to do Google Sheets. I like keeping everything on Google Sheets. You can even have it read off a Google Doc. But for the sake of this video, we're going to make you the same exact one. We're not going to veer off. And then after you have the Google Sheet, what we'll then do is have it set to get rows in sheet. After we do that, we figure out what Google Sheet we want it to have. So when you're setting up your Google Sheet account too as well, what you do is literally, it's super easy. You just connect to Google. So just go in, sign through Google, and you'll be good to go. So the resource is just have sheet with the document, operation get rows, and then the document, I have mine as content spreadsheet, and then you just get the exact spreadsheet. And let me show you what it should look like on the Google Sheet. So just for purposes to make sure like the AI agent can read it, you want to go ahead and just have it set up as name. Of course, you need name, topic, goal, tone, and audience. So topic, AI automation. Like I said, we're just using this for an example. Goal, make it punchy, entertaining, but also deliver value at a 5th grade level. Casual conversational delivery. That's like a chill Gen Z kid like me. I'm over here talking about AI stuff in a black hoodie that everyone wants to be cool with. And then audience, 20 to 30-year-olds that want to learn how to make money with AI. Right? Super simple. Jump back over to the cracked copywriting agent. Now it has that to read it off. So now let's test it because we need to get some data to be able to push it through. So we'll go through test it. Cool. Test one successfully. Now it can read off all the information. Perfect. Another thing that we want to do, this is just preference. Now what we do is we get over to the plus side and then we add a batches node. Like I'm saying, this is just preference. You don't need to do it, especially if you're doing just one client. It just works if you're doing multiple. And then you just have it set as batch size 1. Not a big deal. After that, it'll just doesn't do much. It just splits into 1. A big thing here that I want you guys to really sit here and lock in, take notes if you have to, take a screenshot, is the AI agents, the ones that are doing pretty much all of the heavy lifting. So what we then do, we just hit that plus sign, go to advanced AI. I use this one. Going over into the AI agents now, a big thing is we have it set at define below. It's all in the prompting. Like AI agents and AI, if I can tell you guys one thing and you get one big takeaway, it is all in the prompting. The difference between people with amazing AIs and the stupid ass ChatGPT AIs that don't do anything, or pretty much it's pretty much just like a cool looking Google, is just the prompting. It's all the prompting. So what I have hooked up to it as well is Claude. And on Claude, the only thing is you do have to pay for it. So going over to Claude API, you just go into your search browser and search this up. What it'll do when you search up just Claude API, go over to start building, and then it'll make you make an account. But what they will do is charge you $5 for the API key. If you don't feel like paying for the API key, there's a workaround. It's not a big deal. What you can do is I use Open Router, and then all you have to do in the search browser is you can go here, and it doesn't make that big of a difference. You can go to Open Router, and then when you go through Open Router, you just set up an account. What you can then do is go over to prompt pricing, as you can see over here, drag and drop it all the way to free, and then you'll start seeing all of the free ones you can use. The ones that have worked best for me is DeepSeek down here. Go through, click this one, hit API over here, create API key, and what it's going to do, it's going to give you a personal API key. Don't share this with anyone else, please. Just don't do it. You can copy it, and then what you then do, you run over here, click into this, click that little pencil, and then you just paste that key over there. Super simple setup as well. After that, you set that up. What you can then do, it's all about prompting. I have a prompt set up here already, and I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste that into the prompt, and this will be able to be copy and pasteable for you guys as well. But I want to show you guys how you can create your own prompts as well. One second, before we do create the prompts, I do want to just let you guys know that this over here, you have to drag and drop these over here. So what we then do is we take it from split into batches. So topic, tone, goal, name, audience, and then be like email list owner's name. Cool. So we can then take, drag and drop. So topic is AI automation. We're going to drag and drop into here. What it'll do, I don't know why it does this, but it always goes over here. You want to make sure that these are green, because if these are not green, that means it's not going to have it in here. So what it'll really look like for you when you're copying and pasting, because of course our JSON file or JSON data isn't going to be the same. You need to be able to just drag and drop these in here. Because what happens is no matter what, if the topic changes, the goal changes, you don't have to go in and change this. It'll automatically be changed for you. Right? It'll automatically be changed for you. But just to switch it up a little bit, because I want you guys to be creative with things like this, I'm going to show you how you can make your own prompt. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to ChatGPT actually. And then we're going to ask ChatGPT to give us a prompt. And all you have to do is be like, cool, then I'll give this prompt, and then once the prompt is done, you can then be able to copy and paste this into it over here, right? Prompting is everything. Once you have the prompt set up and then you have the chat model set up to it, you can then press play on it. Then we'll give it a second. Cool, now it'll cook us up a email. Awesome, so now once it cooks us up an email, we're now going through another layer. We're going to set up another one over here, but this one, we're going to go ahead and click define below through here. We're going to add the same chat model to it over here because that's what it needs. Open router all the way down here. But then what this one is supposed to do is you are a veteran copywriter who understands the tone. Let me just go ahead and get this in here. 1 second. Cool. Open that up. You're a veteran copywriter who understands the tone of this. Should really strive to sell the click and have a high open rate. Rate the script below on a scale of 1 to 10 based on how likely it is to achieve higher open rates and click-through rates. Don't explain, just give me a number you would rank it as. Cool. Remember as well, if you, like I said, this is just an example, but if you guys want better prompts, you can go through ChatGPT and get the better prompts, or you can check the description as well, and I do have some crack prompts in there as well for you guys to use. But then what we can do is test the step. Let's see what it gives us. It gives us an 8. So that means if this was running without us being present, of course, by setting it up, this email would pass through because it's good enough. It's, remember, 8, 9s, or 10s. What we're going to do to be able to filter this correctly is we're going to set up the if. And what the if will do is we'll have it set up just like this. So we have it through here. If it's an 8, if it's a 9, if it's a 10, it's a yes. So check this out. We then go over to here. Output is equal to, if it contains 8, and then we switch this to OR, move this, contains, move this over here, contains 10. Cool, and we'll test the step, which it does. Cool, it's true. If it's true, then what we can then do is put this up here. It doesn't matter, it can be true or false. It can be contains 8, 9, 10. Right, you could have it here switched up to contains 8, 9, 10. Awesome. Let's just make sure. Yeah, cool. We then have it set up like this. If it does contain it, we can then, I have it set up here. It's just like a coding one. This isn't necessary at all. I was talking with a couple of my buddies. It's really not necessary. It's just for formatting, where we can put it in and you can just copy it over here. This one is a code. Cool. We have it set up here. And it's just for formatting. And then what I do is I have it sent over to Slack. But what you can do is you can just easily have it send over via anything. Like if you're using Telegram, if you want it to send to a Google Doc and you check the Google Doc, so you can, whatever you want it to send to, it doesn't matter. I just use Slack because I run my whole entire business and clients' businesses on Slack. And then all you have to do is connect the Slack account via email here, go over to message, operation send message to channel, or you can send it to yourself. Right, I have a bunch of different channels in here. AI email agent, simple text message. And then let's just test it. So we'll go through, we'll test the code. Cool. Now we'll go here. It's like new email generated. I hate when it does that. You have to do expression to be able to space it out. Cool. And then we can do the output. And then we just test a step, and then as you guys can see, it'll send it over to Slack. Cool, and a simple email that it just sent over here. But going back to it, now let's do the false. So let's say if we get one and it's a 7, and what we'll do is I'll go through these and I'll just keep making the right emails to see if it cooks up a 7 or a 6. All right, here we are. We just got it to rank at a 7. So then what starts to happen is we go through here, and then it'll go through false because it came through as a 7, right? So now what we do is we add another agent in here. Agent, find below. And then what we do, same thing like over here. You go through, we make sure we add the chat model or the language model, and then we can go through and copy and paste. Rewrite this script, likely to go viral, or it can be likely to be a 10, either one. Return the improved version only. And then go through. Cool. And we have it set up like that. Go through expression. Old script. That's not necessary. All right, return the improved version only. That's not taking the script. 1 second. Take this, paste this over here. Be like, it was ranked. This was ranked as a. Let me just copy that. This was ranked as a 7. There we go. And then it's going to cook up another one. Boom, there we go. Now it cooks up a better email, and then the same thing. We can just add this node. You can just honestly be able to copy and paste this node and add it into here. And the same thing with the Slack channel, because that doesn't change. Oh. Boom. Same thing with the Slack channel, because that doesn't change. And it'll go ahead and cook it up. It'll format it. Oh, let's make sure this is right. Oh, I got it. It's over here. This is the wrong channel. Cool. Should be able to troubleshoot it, and it works now. Perfect. Cool. Now let's test it. We'll test this whole workflow and then watch it cook just to troubleshoot. Always troubleshoot it, but I'm pretty sure we are all good to go now. Cool. It was false. So it'll cook up another one. Great. So let's see. Cool. It cooked up a 7 from this email. Went through, made us another one, and then it got sent over into Slack. Let's check Slack real quick. And then boom, it just got sent over. Cool. So there you go. That is how you can literally create the first one. Super simple. And now the last one, this one's going to be even more simple. It's the same thing since we've already built the first one together. All you need is to grab a chat trigger right here. We'll have to move it over into another one. Let's just move this over to another one so we can draw it up for you guys. Cool. So here we are in the next chat. We'll have to delete this chat node. Actually, we won't even delete it. We'll just keep it here. And then we can show you guys. So what we can then do is, as you can see, we have the chat node set up. All we need to do is same thing. We set up the AI agent here. We set up the chat model as usual. We're gonna go a little bit faster so you guys are learning in real time. That's what it's all about. So the same thing that the scriptwriter has over here. I'm gonna copy this, paste it. You guys know how to make prompts. We're gonna move this down, go to define below. Boom. But what we need is the data to make this JSON work. So what we'll do is we'll open the chat. Cool, we'll get that so that way we can just get the data. All right, so next thing we're gonna put on is the proofreading agent. And same thing, we're gonna go through, we're gonna go here, gonna put another AI agent in there, define below, and then we're gonna put a chat node in there, same one as over here, nothing different, nothing too complicated. And then we're just gonna go ahead and I'll let you see, we're gonna steal the prompt from over here. We'll just go back and we're gonna put a prompt in here, move it over to expression, put that in, and then of course, same thing, you're gonna just make sure that this gets drag and dropped into here because it'll be different for you. We'll go through and we'll test that. We'll let it execute for a second. Cool, now we're gonna use one of these, and what that is, it's just a simple split screen. Literally, we're gonna copy and paste that and put it over here. And what it looks like inside is, it'll just look like this. And now a big one, remember with the if, you just have it set up here like this. And like I said, we've already done all of this stuff already. We can then copy and paste these ones in here. So what that'll look like is we just go and we get the AI agent as usual. And then we have the prompting set up like this. So I'll go over to expression so you guys can see, of course. And what that'll look like is we have it set up. So the old script, we can drag and drop right here. Old script is this. The copy judge said it was you want to drag and drop this over here. Said it was a 6. We want to fix this and make it a 10. Awesome. We'll go through and we'll test the step. Give it a second. Cooks us up a better email. And now same thing. You just take this, you paste that in here from the coding one, and then you have the Slack channel set up towards message post, and then you have it set up here. Same thing we made on the other one. It shouldn't be different. Cool, and that'll send over into Slack, and then the same thing. You just need these two over here to be plugged and dropped over here. And then there you go. You successfully created a cracked AI agent. Don't worry, I'll have things in the resources, as I said, for you to be able to post. And also, if you guys need extra help, you guys can book a call and I can talk to you guys and we can be able to see what we can do for you. Other than that as well, the type of people you can sell this to. I'll make this super quick. I go through a whole video on how to sell AI agents, so I'm just going to show you the type of people you can sell this to make, money from these type of agents if you don't have your own business. So going through who actually buys AI agents, so it's how you package it, right? You want to be clear on who's actually selling it, because the two people that are going to buy the agents that we just went over are digital service providers. So that's either content creators, agency owners. They do copywriting a lot and they would need something like this. So you want to definitely, any of your favorite content creators that you are watching that don't have this set up, you can easily sell it to them and set it up for them for at least $1,000. Other than that, who else you can do it with too as well is the startups and like SaaS founders. They're always sending emails to their email list too as well. So you want to be able to get into them, show them something like this, right? Because it'll save them a lot of money on a copywriter. Some copywriters charge $2,000-$3,000 a month plus like a percentage performance-based like rev share. You can go in and sell this for $1,000, undercut the whole market, and then be able for them to sell the AI agents to. You can sell the AI agents to them. You can be able to go in, undercut the whole market, and sell these services and these agents, and people will take it and they'll bite on it because it's something that they actually want and something that will save them money, especially for lean startups and SaaS founders. So the two you want to be selling it to is definitely digital service providers and SaaS founders. But I just want to say thank you guys for watching this video. I hope this helps. Like I said, everything will be down in the resources tab for you to go ahead and cop. But until then, peace.